Basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say Zagak. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
Basketball is back, Jack, in Miami, and it's been a minute since this particular feeling was here where you get caught up in the emotions of, oh, you got hope and a overachieving underdog over here that was down for a year when Jimmy Butler was here. And then on the other side of the country, you've got the Golden State Warriors, and it's early for those whimpers to be coming out of a champion locker room when Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green are in that locker room. And what you just saw happen last night, as if you didn't see it with the championship last year, is holy. One of those teams is old, and one of those teams is young, and OKC is dragging the entire league, winning most of its games that way, except for the first couple that they took to overtime. And Golden State, I don't think they got old fast, but that's what old looks like, and that is a feisty, stubborn champion. So let's just get to some of this sound, okay? Let's get first to Jimmy Butler sound. This is awfully early in the season for any of this to already be happening. So here's Jimmy Butler after that game. Good luck with all of this, Golden State.
Honestly, I just think that the fight's not always there. You know, if they're not making shots, give us an out to not guard, whatever reason that may be. We got to fight no matter what. And, you know, I think most of that fighting I'm talking about is on the defensive end. You're not getting stops, man. You're just not playing hard. You're just not doing what it really takes to win.
How do you get that? How do you get that fight back?
I don't know. We're gonna have to figure it out.
The loud ambient hum of all the data centers they're building in that state.
They've lost at Portland, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, Sacramento, Denver, and OKC. Their starters last night combined for 45 points. Their starters last night. So compare that with now Andrew Wiggins. For you guys' criticism of my Heat analysis, I thought Andrew Wiggins was brought here to be something like what Norman Powell has been. That's what I thought was coming. I thought that he was. I thought when they traded for Andrew Wiggins,
Andrew Wiggins,
the former number one pick, Andrew,
the Canadian,
that one,
the one that was in Minnesota with Cat,
the one
that Glenn Taylor said, "I'll give you the max, but you have to promise to play harder."
Surely you can't be.
You thought he was going to come here like, guys, I won a championship. Listen to me. Here, hey, I'll help you, young guy. You thought that was what Andrew Wiggins was?
That's not who he is. He must be thinking of a different one.
There's another Wiggins.
Yeah, there is another.
Wiggins.
That one.
Aaron
another
Wiggins in Oklahoma City, and he won a championship too. So maybe.
I thought Andrew Wiggins was coming here to be a number one scorer and grow into the role the way Heat players do when they get somewhere, come from somewhere as underachievers. Yes, I believed. Am I an idiot for believing that that's why they traded for him and how they traded for him?
That may have been why they traded for him last year, but I think they quickly realized Andrew Wiggins as your top scoring option is awful. And this year, when Andrew Wiggins is like your 4th or 5th option, I like that guy.
That's not why they traded for Andrew.
All right, so here's Andrew Wiggins, so you can compare vibes between locker rooms here. We're going to go back and forth. Here's Andrew Wiggins talking about the Heat's locker room.
Even though having some guys out, we're still able to do what we're doing because of the system we're in, and the guys that are all just stepping up and, doing it all collectively. The coaches are doing a great job getting us in position to, be successful, and all the guys come in with that mentality that this is going to be a hard place to win. Heat basketball, we're going to be physical. This is going to be a hard-fought game, the whole game.
So we're already going to start with the culture talk again, right?
Hard place to – right now it's an impossible place to win.
Undefeated at home.
That's an impossible place to win.
I want to get to tonight's game against the Cavs. What the Cavs are doing is offensive. This part of basketball is offensive. They've got a home and home that's not even at their home.
Second leg of home and home.
And they're not playing their key players, and Donovan Mitchell's in Louisville last night, and all of that is just not great, that nobody's respecting the regular season that way. The Cavs know they're good. They know they're going to make the playoffs. This is as easy as you can make it. It's 4 days in Miami. You don't have to fly anywhere. You could just play 2 games in Miami. There's no reason for Donovan Mitchell to sit out this game when he's flying to Louisville.
It's not a back-to-back.
I mean, he wants to watch his alma mater play. Come on, guys. Where's the stick in the mud stuff you guys are doing? He'll be back.
Here's the entire list of people that are apparently out for Cleveland.
I didn't even know this.
Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's out for rest.
Oh, God.
Evan Mobley out for rest.
Oh, my God.
Max Strus injured with a foot injury. Jalen Tyson, Larry Nance Jr. Why are people out for rest when the NBA has done this thing that we typically haven't seen in its history, where it's back to like the 1940s of travel? We're in town. We're going to treat it like a baseball series.
Yeah.
So we're going to mitigate the travel issues. So you don't actually have to be out due to rest because you're not traveling.
And it's not even back-to-back.
Yeah, there's a day in between. You're staying in the same city, and to avoid the wear and tear that the travel day will put on a superstar's body, Donovan Mitchell says, I'm going to travel to Louisville.
So it is a back-to-back because tomorrow they go home to go play Toronto. So these guys are sitting on the front end of this back-to-back is basically what they're doing.
All right, that's fair, but still, we're 11 games into the season,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the rest and recovery thing is dictated by where we are in the season. They're doing all sorts of biometrics measurements to know about load and when.
You feel like that's working? Guys are always hurt. You feel like that's working?
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason why guys are always hurt or not, but guys are hurt. So
it's their job. You buy a ticket, see the stars.
Play basketball.
I don't understand.
That's it.
This is dumb. The league has gone out of its way to schedule games like this to mitigate this, and teams are not listening.
But they're on a back-to-back. Like your point would be right if they didn't have a back-to-back.
But the back-to-back is tomorrow. I don't.
So they're going to sit one of them. They already showed. Here's the thing: if I'm Cleveland and you're telling me, "Hey, there are people in the city of Miami who would love to see the Cavs play," right? And it's like, okay, do I sit them out in Toronto where, like, hey, we're there, or in Miami where they already saw me two nights ago? If you're gonna make the decision, if you're gonna do Sophie's choice, the second Miami night is the one that you kick to the curb.
Basketball players literally spend all their free time playing basketball. Like, they play like 8 games during the summer. This is so dumb.
Let me ask you something, since you're someone who worked in an NBA office before. It's a back-to-back. You're right. I didn't realize that.
A front office, not just an office. It wasn't just, well, at the beginning it was just an NBA office.
It wasn't even an office at the beginning.
But okay, so
it was outside the arena.
It's not just an NBA office.
Oh, did I say just an office? I didn't say a front office?
Well, look,
I
I would be totally fine if a means credentials was just graphically once worked in an NBA office. Yes, I would think that that's the way we should present the means to the world.
I apologize.
It was a front office eventually.
That was disrespectful. You got a back-to-back. It's the first night of a back-to-back, also the second leg of a home and home with Miami. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Why can't these players like Donovan Mitchell, like Evan Mobley, why can't they just play the second half tonight?
The second half of the game?
Yeah, why not? It's back-to-back, so they don't want to play. You don't want to play a whole game here and a whole game there, so why don't they just play the second half tonight?
And the numbies get affected.
20 minutes.
Why would the numbies get affected?
There you go. There you
Well,
go.
but also it's not efficient in any way, and you're not resting your body that day if you have to play half of an NBA game. Playing 20 minutes in an NBA game might not be as hard as 40 minutes, but it's good. You're not going to. It's not going to be a rest day. It's a crazy.
Well, it shouldn't be a rest day. You have work.
What you're saying is a lunacy idea. Your idea makes no sense to get a player actual rest. What sense? You made that.
Why
point.
do they have to rest? It's a work day.
But you made that point as if you were coming down with a genius idea.
I think it is a good idea.
The rest, that's what the day off is for.
Yeah, this is a work day.
They had Veterans Day off. They had the day off. That's so they get to rest from playing basketball. They got that yesterday.
Out of the whole year, 82 nights are work days. Every other night's a rest day. All of them. So I'm even giving you a situation where, you know what? Because you have 2 work days in a row, God forbid people work 2 work days in a row. Because you have 2 work days in a row, maybe you only play the second half of the game tonight, so you do a half a work day.
Why the second half?
Well, because you want to have your good players in the second half.
Early release day.
Yeah.
He's doing half day. He's giving.
But why the second half?
You ever take a half a mental health day?
Do the first half.
Imagine if we had half a work day and we all had to show up at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That makes no sense.
One star gets the first half, the other star gets the second half. Mobley, you sit out the second.
Yeah. But Chris is right. Chris is right. That's why it doesn't happen.
You were wrong.
I'm very wrong. I'm innovative.
What you're suggesting?
I can't wait till the league listens to this and they all do it. And I'm sitting here with a big smile on my face. I'm not going to do I told you so, but it'll be a smile on my face because I know that I was innovative.
What you're suggesting is patently ridiculous, okay? The second half of an NBA game is a very vigorous physical activity.
Yeah.
And when you say players are only working 82 days, that's not true. Travel days are work days. They're work days around here. They're work days at companies.
Oh, my God. Who cares? You sit on a plane, you play poker.
Vigorous. Yeah, everybody's played basketball. Let's stop acting like it's a 5-round UFC fight.
Oh, but you guys keep making the basketball you've played like it's the basketball they play. I mean,
that's not the why.
I get way more tired when I play basketball than when they do.
I'm so tired when I play.
Amin did this the other day with Tiger Woods' back surgeries and back pain. He's like, I've got back pain. I'm like,
I do have back pain.
But you think your back pain is the same as Tiger Woods' back pain?
It's pretty bad.
It's probably similar.
No, are you guys crazy? Swinging a golf club that way for that many years and needing 7 surgeries to correct things? No, his pain is worse than yours.
But when Chris says, "Oh, I wouldn't take $200 million for that," I'm like, "I already have that. Give me the $200 million."
It's basketball.
No,
we've all played it. It's not.
Right.
It's
it's
not
a
taxing.
work day.
This is the.
I have a suggestion. He plays the first and the fourth quarter.
Okay.
This is getting worse. How are you guys getting worse at this?
Guys, they don't show up at the gym with a bag of fast food. They're there for 3 hours beforehand to get their bodies right for that.
His ankle taped. Wow.
Guys, basketball is back, Jack. Let's talk about some more positive things. Like, did any of you guys hear Marv Albert do the soliloquy before the games yesterday? Oh, dude, Dan, it brought all the chills, but also made me incredibly sad because I could hear in Marvelous's voice, he's old now, and I wasn't ready for that. Like, he looks fine, by the way. He looks great.
He's in
great
his
head of
80s.
hair.
Is he not in his 80s?
He's old.
Definitely in his 80s.
Yeah, he's definitely in his 80s. But his voice, Dan, his voice ultimately just wasn't what it used to be. Even just reading the monologue, it took him a little bit of effort, and you could hear his voice strain. Yes, and the foul, in your face, facial, and a spectacular move by Dan Le Batard.
He's 84. I mean,
I know. I know.
He was born during the Holocaust. That's how old he is.
Oh my gosh, marvelous.
You know,
Marvelous.
That was a long time
Not
ago.
the Holocaust.
For him to be able to survive his scandal and get back in the game at 84 because NBC is trafficking.
What scandal?
That was a long
nostalgia.
time ago, too.
What
Stop.
scandal? What are you talking about?
Yeah, people can look it up on the internet.
A long time ago.
As I was saying earlier, before we got derailed by shaking our fist at load management, I paired Jimmy Butler against Andrew Wiggins. Now let me pair Draymond Green. I remind you, before I play this Draymond Green sound, this was a quote from Jimmy Butler less than 30 days ago. San Francisco Chronicle, quote, "All that noise and chaos paid off in a major way. Everything starts off great, but then you know someone has to be the bad guy, and it gets to be me. I'm always the one doing something unbearable all of a sudden, but being here, they've only got one goal. Ain't no hidden agendas." End quote. So
That's ironic.
I think Draymond here speaks to the idea of perhaps not hidden agendas, but not everyone in Golden State has the same agenda.
I think everybody was committed to winning and doing that any way possible. And right now, it doesn't feel that way.
Personal agenda type stuff, or like, I guess how would you kind of?
I think everyone has a personal agenda in this league, but you have to make those personal agenda work in the team confines. And if it doesn't work, then you kind of got to get rid of your agenda, or eventually the agenda is the cause of someone getting rid of you.
This is actually a very intelligent quote about the dynamics of basketball and the NBA in particular, right? Basketball is 5 people trying to do their own thing, but trying to do it within the framework of we do it together as a team.
And this particular person, say what you will about him selfishly, does all of the things no one else wants to do on a basketball court. So no matter what you think of Draymond Green, is speaking from a position of authority of what it is it takes to be a good teammate when you are someone like him who once scored 32 points in a Game 7 of the finals.
Yeah, I think Draymond, more than any player that has problems that they always talk about, like, oh, he has a temper issue, whatever, he always plays the right way. Like his basketball decision making, he doesn't take dumb shots. He doesn't make wild passes for the most part. He's pretty astute at keeping his temper separate from his basketball decision making. What he's talking about there is absolutely correct. Everybody in the NBA has an agenda. No one's out here walking out here like, I just want selflessness. Everyone's got some sort of goal, but the idea is, how do we make it all work within the same framework? It's not communism, right, where we're just everyone is an equal robot, but it's also not a free-for-all kind of laissez-faire free market economy where everyone's just doing whatever the hell they want. There is a level of kind of capitalistic tendencies within a socialist framework when you talk about basketball. And so what he's saying there is, sometimes you want to do things and they help us win, and sometimes you want to do things and these things detract from our winning. And the idea is to minimize that and maximize the other.
He is an authority here, correct? He's viewed as a bad messenger because he's got a temper problem, but he's an authority. They've won championships with him as the furnace and fuel of play basketball correctly.
And this is going to be a bad time. Keeping people accountable to that, holding people accountable to that, right? Because that's really what this is about, right? When they're talking, first of all, we know these guys, they're not passive-aggressive people. So I'm pretty sure whoever they're talking about, it's not like, what, me? They know already.
Jeremy's looking at you sideways. Do you think that Jimmy is passive-aggressive?
I mean, did you witness the last year?
I think he's aggressive.
Jeremy, when Jimmy doesn't like somebody, does he keep it to himself?
He doesn't keep it to himself to them, so that's fair that he wouldn't be passive aggressive within the locker room. But it's what the words are in front of the media certainly are to specifically influence things. You could argue to an agenda.
Certainly. But my point is this: whoever they're talking about, yes, they're speaking in a passive aggressive tone to the media, right? But the person they're talking about has already received this message directly.
No, that's right. Throughout the history, they're talking about Kuminga. Throughout the history of Jimmy Butler's career, he finds a guy that he creates a cause around. Yep. And that's the reason why that approach is why we're not right. In Chicago, he and Wade went off to their side, and Rondo rallied the young guys, and that was the schism. In Minnesota, Wiggins and Cat, these young guys, he finds these people down here when Lowry got on the team and those two isolated, and he had a problem with Tyler Hero, and God bless Kevin Love for being the tie that binds.
He was.
And brought those guys together for a little run. But he had his problems with Tyler and probably Bam a little bit. And now he's done it again. Duncan was also in that crew. That's why he loved Max Strus. He was so effusive in his praise of Max Strus. He knew what he was doing. Let's turn the two white guys against one another. That's what he was doing.
The thing about
the white shooters, get them.
About Max is Jimmy often does pick the right guys to be his guys. Right? He wants the gamers, and Max is one of those guys. And I can understand.
The guy sucks.
Well, But that's part of it, right? Like there are personal relationships, and then there are the guys that he singles out. He really, like over here in Golden State, he loves Buddy Hield, and he wanted to build up Buddy Hield. And I don't know whether or not that works out for them, but when he picks guys, it's with a specific reason of I think I can build you up. Over here, for that matter, he picked Niko Jovic because he wanted him to maximize what he had going on. But he definitely distanced himself from others. And when you're a leader of a team, you have to sink yourself into the human beings on your team to get the most out of them. That's what I think Bam was most frustrated with when you look at the dynamics in that locker room. Bam, a guy who wants to sink himself into others. You see Khalil Ware have a bad game. Bam's in his ear, 20 rebounds the next night. And that's the type of leadership that I think is different. It doesn't mean he can't get the most out of his teammates, but it's different with Jimmy.
And ultimately, when you talk about leadership, effective leadership, it's adjusting your leadership style to the person you're dealing with. Steve Kerr talks about this, where he says, I coach Draymond different than I coach other people. Like with Draymond, at first I was trying to be like the new age 21st century, hey man, talk to me about your feelings. And he realized pretty quickly from talking to Draymond and talking to Tom Izzo, no, Draymond just wants you to cuss him out and call him on his bull and be up in his face and scream and be like a domineering coach. That's what he responds to. But that doesn't mean Steve Kerr is going to coach Brandon Podziemski or Buddy Hield or Jonathan Kuminga the same way, because those guys have different receptors as far as the message. And it's on the leader to adjust it, because at the end of the day, it's not the most important thing isn't that I get to communicate the way I want to. The most important thing is the message gets communicated.
The schisms you guys talk about, again and again, what has happened with Jimmy Butler, we really celebrated old school around here, and you realize there's a generation of difference between however it is that Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade were behaving in Chicago, or how Jimmy Butler interacted with younger people in Minnesota, or in the instance that we're talking about here where you're singling out Kuminga. It's a generation of difference in attitude.
I will say, though, I think he's right in the people that he's identifying in terms of people that aren't necessarily doing the things necessary to help the team, even though his own actions, especially when they meet real adversity, kind of also work against the team's interests.
Right. Like, so the idea is like, yes, he's never like misidentifying the guy who's not pulling their weight. But how do you get them to pull their weight? Do you go off on them and then just ignore them for the rest of the time? Like, that's not an effective strategy. You're trying to build them up to get to that place. I think Karl Anthony Towns is an example of what he was in Minnesota and what he is now has grown. Players grow, players change, and Jimmy seems to have a way of kind of like, you're either here or there, and once you're on one side or the other, that's it.
Are you guys with me on the idea, though, that we really celebrated 35-year-old Jimmy Butler from a different time, lumberjack guy, when he was undressing 20-year-old cat who was not yet a grown adult because he came out of Kentucky as a freshman? And
undressing is bad.
You understand what I'm saying, though. Jimmy Butler, with 13 years of difference, is going to have what connection point with whatever Karl Anthony Towns is, at that size, being the best shooter from the perimeter he's ever seen, while Jimmy's getting 16 free throws a game.
Look, I'm like Jeremy said, I'm not saying it's bad, right? Like especially in the context of Golden State, Draymond and any of those guys, when they do it, it's real. One of my favorite stories, I don't even remember if this was public or not, but when what's the kid in Philadelphia? Now I'm drawing a blank.
Maxey?
McCain?
No, the one that was in Golden State, Oubre. When Kelly Oubre was in Golden State. Oh. And Clay was starting to come back, and they were talking about, okay, so Kelly, you're going to come off the bench. And Kelly started pounding. I'm a starter. And I think it was Clay that went, or someone went off on him in the locker room, telling him, hey, man, you know what this place is? Do you know what we do here? Who are you to say I'm not coming off the bench? Andre Iguodala, who was an all-star, came off the bench for us. Who the hell are you? That's the type of locker room they are. They don't suffer the kind of the immaturities of fools. They will let you know immediately. And so what they're doing here, I'm not even certain. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not holding them accountable. The thing is, the only reason why we're talking about it here and why it's relevant to us is because that part of Jimmy, which can be useful at times, but other times destructive, was at the end of the time here just destructive.
Right.
It was no longer useful.
I think that the valid criticism of Jimmy is when he does identify that guy, he does very little actually mend the fences. And it doesn't seem like there's really a path for the person that he's isolated in that way to work themselves back into the good graces.
And then the juxtaposition of why we're talking about it specifically now is when you hear Wiggins and Norm Powell and all these guys talk, and it's like, oh, this feels amazing. But on some level, Jeremy, you know why it feels amazing? Because they appreciate it. Yes. In a way that some other locker rooms, if you tried doing this kumbaya stuff, it would be taken for granted. And that's the problem in the NBA. You're always balancing, hey, we want people accountable, but also we don't want it to feel like a prison. But if you let it too loose, everyone's going to do whatever they want.
All I'm saying is the vibes in Golden State look like and the vibes here in Miami about to take it tonight, second half of that home and home. Everybody's having a good time. You see that real leader, Norman Powell? That's a leader right there.
All right, so
that's a leader.
I told you all about Norman Powell.
Let's get to the Norman Powell sound. Norman Powell is making the vibes feel very good in a very weak East. That Celtics Sixers game was fun last night, but that's what the top of that conference is going to look like, and Cleveland resting all its players to get to the postseason against the Knicks. But here's the Heat trying to announce to everybody, no, we're going to get into this game at the top of the East. We're going to do it with team basketball that scores 140 points a game, even though they're setting all of 9 picks because everyone's just running around, hanging from the rafters, throwing the ball at the shot clock and letting Khalil Ware dunk it.
What does it say about this team that you get different contributions in different moments every single game?
I mean, it just shows how deep we are, the way we play, fast up-tempo style, everybody's pulling in the right direction, everybody's cheering each other on. Some nights it's going to be my night, some nights it's not going to be my night, but we're cheering everybody on. We're playing super hard, we're picking each other up, and we're believing in it. We're believing in the system, we're believing in one another, and it shows when a game like this, when you need tough-minded resilience, physicality, and belief, and execution, and we're able to do that down the stretch.
I can't believe we're going to get more annoying as a Heat show. That grating, like the Jeremy arriving with the smile, I can hear the smile on his face.
You can hear it's like Pablo. You can hear the smile.
You can hear the smile talking. He's happier than Norman Powell.
He's good on television. Stop going at Jeremy. There's a reason why he's won an Emmy. And I would say that this first segment of the show
Emmy?
has been more national in scope.
He said 2 Emmys in the background.
And this is not just on the broadcast. You can hear. This is to the arena.
What does it say about this team that you get different contributions in different moments every single game?
Great question. Hard hitting.
It's a good question.
The side of his lips are attached to his eyebrows. He is smiling. He is speaking through a mouth that's not moving because the top of his lips are over his ears.
What does it say about this team that you get different contributions in different moments every single game?
There's a leading question, and then there's grabbing someone by their wrist and pulling them with you. Come here to this thing. Want.
But that's the job. That's the job. Jeremy is as good as anyone at that job that anyone is. It's really like a testament to how that skill does not translate on radio.
What does it say about this team?
He is so
What
happy.
does it say about this team?
Chris, you're not smiling enough. Happier, damn it, happier.
About this team.
You have got such a future as Mario Lopez in every hotel I step
Oh my God!
into.
Thank you. I hope so.
That is the highest of the high praise.
I would love to host a game show.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show.
Just deliver the games.
Is it really a hotel experience if Mario Lopez is in Shillingham movies?
What does it say about this team?
on the television.
Dan, real quick, you know what's going to happen? Like 5 years from now, he's actually going to have that job, and everyone's going to say, remember when Jeremy was on the Le Batard Show? Yeah, I hated him then, and now I miss him. He's awesome. Like we do at Whitty.
Like Whittingham, exactly like Whittingham. You were genuinely moved. For those of you who do not know, that Amin is a grizzled veteran, no more grizzled than he is today, after many years of battering in the NBA offices.
Worked in an NBA office.
That weren't in the front. And then finally getting to a front office. I would imagine your love of basketball is so giant that you often get moved by little acts of teamwork that you see or an organization working well. But even I was surprised to see how excited you were, of all the excitable people here about the Heat, just watching Wiggins watch his shot at a buzzer dunk, which you hardly ever see in the sport to make the vibes feel even better around Miami because they beat what is one of the best teams, if not the best team in the East at the buzzer, playing that way, scoring 140 points. Why were you moved by this? I have not seen this video.
I don't know. You know, it's weird, Dan. The things that resonate with me are so odd and varied. I don't even sense a pattern. It's just something wholesome about.
Yeah, you could tell that it's real joy.
It's real joy, but also a real fascination.
Yeah.
With let me see I don't even know what happened.
He's legitimately interested.
He's interested in what he's watching and kind of the vibe. And then watch Norm Powell at the end of this video.
All right, walk me through that. Man, it was a hell of a play by the coaches. Crazy pass by Nico.
Greatest Canadian of all time right here.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Let's go, Will.
Shout out Quinny, man.
Norman Powell loves to crash an interview. He's a vibes guy.
So to the listening audience, basically it's Andrew Wiggins watching on the social media manager's phone the play that just happened. They're walking down the championship alley. Is that what it's called?
But the arena has exploded. Andrew Wiggins is coming off of what will be one of the greatest feelings of his life to make that shot at the buzzer.
Yes, and so he's watching it. Jaquez is coming in saying, "Oh, greatest Canadian of all time," and then you hear Norm Powell literally kind of just crash the interview, jump up on him. It's such a great moment of joy, and also a reflection of what just happened. Whereas usually, Dan, when you ask guys, it's a very dead kind of answer of Coach drew up a great play, and Mitchell set a great back screen, and I just tried to make a play at the rim. Instead, it's no, this is acknowledging, oh, that was cool, and his teammates are all happy for him.
The league MVP is Canadian.
And?
Well, he called him the greatest Canadian ever. The best player in the league is Canadian. It's not Andrew Wiggins.
It's not Andrew Wiggins. He's right about that.
But that's
His
why
nickname
he brought him in.
Is Maple Jordan. So
it's
a bad nickname.
The idea that feeling, right? I don't imagine there are many like it, and I wanted to get a means analysis on this because I was confused even as Jeremy was talking about it yesterday. It couldn't have been that the Cavs assistant coaches didn't know what they were doing at the end of that game.
It seemed like
no,
it.
but I'm asking Amin from somebody who understands how much work goes into winning these little games in the tiniest of margins. There are very few things that coaches have control over once they're all control freaks, and there's very little control you have once the basketball is out there because things happen, okay? These control freaks know that they control very little, but the time they most control it is out of a timeout, right out of a timeout, defensively, 0.4 of a second. This is, to me, the easiest of things. You can't botch it like that. It looked like the assistants didn't know what they were doing with Kenny Atkinson ejected. It can't be that, right?
I'm not going to put it on the coaching staff at all because this is not a young team. This is not a juvenile team. These guys are vets. They've played in playoffs. They played in a playoff series. They've been deep in the playoffs. There are certain things that happen on that play that are NBA cardinal truths. I don't need to tell you. You're in the NBA. You've been here long enough. You should know. Number one, short clock situations. We switch everything. We switch everything. It doesn't matter. Oh, it wasn't that much of a screen. Doesn't matter. Switch everything. Number two, time and score. A two-pointer beats you. A three-pointer beats you as well, but a two-pointer beats you. So we don't want to give up the easy thing, right? Which is what? At the rim. So when you get hit with that back screen, number one, you didn't switch. Number two, you didn't dip.
Was it almost a moving pick?
Oh, it was an awful pick.
That's what I was I've seen that called before. I've seen that called before. Not in that spot.
He slid tackled. He looked like a soccer player out there. No, it was an awful pick.
Didn't they call that in the women's championship, right?
So that's one, they don't switch. Two, no one dips to protect the rim. But then number three, and this one, Evan Mobley, you're the defensive player of the year. KYP is an NBA saying. It stands for Know Your Personnel, right? You're guarding Jaime Jaquez, a career 31% three-point shooter who's shooting 27% from three this season. There's 0.4 seconds left. And by the way, not the quickest release in the world. Who cares? I hope they pass it to him. Even if Jaquez is shooting 39% from three this season, His release is so slow. There's no chance he gets it off in 0.4.
They should have been so okay with giving up a 3-pointer.
Yeah, as soon as Jaquez starts to go out to the corner, Mobley's going to be like, bye. I'm going to stay right here in the paint.
Yep.
I'm going to stay right here in the paint. And so, to me, that's not conversations that the assistant coaches should have to go through. Now, had they gone through it, maybe guys would have remembered better, but it's like, no, Sam Merrill, no, Evan Mobley, you guys should know better. That's an execution thing.
Why would you have a 6'4" guy, Donovan Mitchell, guarding the inbounds pass? How does that help? You're playing 4 and 5 there.
I mean, look, you know what's funny? I always think about why don't they always put the biggest guy, or you talk about turn his back and just play, because you don't want a clean look. You don't want a clean look, but also
but a 6'4" guy's a clean look.
There's no such. I mean, look, I honestly do not think that in that situation there is any chance that anyone can physically get a good shot off in 0.4 of a second. Anybody on earth, maybe Steph Curry, but 0.4 of a second from any spot on the court. The idea that you would allow anything at the rim because you're guarding against the possibility that any Heat player who has ever played, maybe Ray Allen, can get a shot off in 0.4 of a second that's a good shot.
0.4 of a second is definitely enough time to get off a shot if you have a release that's quick. Doesn't have to be Ray Allen, Steph Curry quick, but just relatively quick. Yeah. So, for instance, Norm Powell, who is the dummy in the not dummy, excuse me.
Why are you calling that?
The decoy. I'm sorry, the decoy of the play.
You're good.
Right? They ran elevator doors, so he's zipper cutting up, and when he comes out, the idea is that they're going to give it to Norm Powell because Norm Powell does have a quick enough release, except for the fact it's a tied game. Why would Norm Powell be shooting from 24 feet when it's a tied game? We're trying to get something that's a score anywhere. Shout out to Zaz, a score, right? So that's another thing where you, as a player, you just got to know, he's going up, like, all right, man, vaya con Dios. I'm not going to be worried about him 24 feet versus someone at the basket.
Did the Heat feel this good at the end of the game?
Hello.
Did Wiggins feel this good after the game?
Hello.
Did the greatest of the Canadian basketball players feel this good after the game?
Hello.
I sure did.
Yeah. Well, we know that. We could hear the smile on your face.
Hello.
Disgusting.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
You delivered that with excellent enthusiasm. Zaz, of course, is a professional, has been a professional for a long time, but he just did something that made me a little bit sad. There was just sadness that swept over me. I don't know if you know what it is that you did, but Chris Cody asked you to go get that read, and you got out of the chair.
Oh no!
Yes, with a groan, and then just sort of marched over to the read in a way that made me sad about 20 years of radio.
It was a grunt.
No, you got up with a groan and you trudged over there to do it. And normally that kind of age is something I only get around here from Greg Cody.
Hello.
And I've noticed, he's walking with a cane, he's coughing, so there's some mortality here that's happening to our show. And I was just talking to Carl about this the other day because I'm like, Stugotz is working on his thing. And where's Stugotz? Cody comes in one day and he's like, after 21 years, Carl says, there's going to be some wear and tear on the vehicle. And so seeing Zaz, one of the newcomers, one of the youngsters, get up with a groan to do the live read made me sad, and you didn't even know you were being watched.
That's what happens when you buy a used car, Dan. Excuse me, certified pre-owned.
So one of our new personalities, Chris Cody, who has learned a lot at Meadowlark Media and has been growing as an executive producer, has produced very few things, that are magical. But Big Mac's take of the day.
Oh, that's my dog, Big Mac.
Yeah, Big Mac is, I don't even know, what would his job be? Because he's a very affable man who greets us every single morning with dolphin takes. And he's happier now because Chris Greer has been let go. And he generally just gives off a lot of happiness. But the Dolphins have made him miserable for a long time. And so how would I describe Big Mac's job here at the Elser, the luxury Elser? What is that job?
We have a parking garage downstairs, and he's kind of the guy who lets people in. All right, you can go through. No, you don't stop.
I think he's like security
No,
for the
but
valet.
no.
So he's not the GM?
This is a big job.
He's parking czar.
he
keeps. That's a huge job of like, you're allowed in here. Okay, you're a truck. What time's your delivery?
in a condo/hotel in downtown Miami.
Dock master is what I'm being told in my ear.
Yeah. Okay, so Big Mac is the dock master here, and I learned the other day that he's got a twin brother. He's got a twin brother, and I met both of them. But so he's got his takes of the day. Are we all getting the same takes? Because he greets us all. It's his way of saying hello is to tell us what's going on with the Dolphins.
He must tell all of us, because this one in particular that we're about to play, the morning of Monday when we came in after that big Dolphins-Bills game, everyone was like, did you hear Mac's take? Like, I think he just gives it to everyone as they walk by.
But it's the same take?
Not always, but this one, he wanted to get this message out. He has a theory on why the Dolphins beat the Bills.
All right, this is one of the finest things that Chris Cody has ever produced.
Big Mac's take of the day.
Man, you know that game was fixed, right? Man, I saw it. I saw how Dalvin Cook was acting. Yeah. I ain't never seen him fumble no ball. And then I saw how the quarterback was. Oh, he was acting all fatigued like it was 90 degrees.
He looked weird the whole game.
You already know. And then the way he was scrambling, Chris. Yeah. He was scrambling like, come on, guys.
Is that you walking away from him?
Big Mac's take of the day.
Does he know you're recording him?
He knows that I have the ability at any moment to be recording him.
I thought Big Mac was walking away from you, like doing his job. You were ditching him.
No, I mean, he gave me the good stuff, so I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm walking away. He just keeps it going.
The sound is you walking away from him in a surreptitiously recorded conversation that may have been illegal, that he does not know that you are airing.
Right, you're going to hear the first 20 seconds of this.
This is illegal.
Nah, I think he's fine with it.
Man, you know that game was fixed, right?
Fine with that accusation.
Man, I saw it. I saw how Dalvin Cook was acting.
Still next to him.
Yeah. I ain't never seen him fumble no ball. And then I saw how the quarterback was. Oh, he was acting all fatigued like it was 90 degrees.
He looked weird the whole game.
You already know.
And I'm like, all right, we're good here.
The way he was scrambling, Chris. Yeah.
You're laughing. That was a fake laugh. You're not laughing for real. That was fraudulent.
Big Mac's take of the day.
When I worked at the Suns, there was this security guard named Kim. And this dude was the most positive man in the world, but his claim to fame was he always had the last word. You could never have the last word on him. So you'd walk in and say, good morning, Kim, how's it going? Not bad, make us better. Thank you, sir. You do the same. Like, yep, always moving upward. I'm like, all right. And then so, like, he would greet you right there, and you got to take the escalator upstairs. And I'm up the escalator. I'm like, all right, you have a good day. You have a better one. Like, the whole way.
I know that people get frustrated at the amount around here that I talk about sports media things, but I do not care. So go ahead and play that imaging. We haven't played it in a while. Play the imaging of us talking about sports media beef.
Do you get annoyed every time Dan Le Batard pontificates about the sports media industry? Well, too bad, motherfucker. He knows you don't give a damn about what he's gonna say. It's time for Sports Media Talk today.
Made that one too.
Before I get to that, Jeremy, can you just give me some live YouTube chat? What are the people saying to make fun of me and us before I run all of them off right now?
Definitely making fun of you the most here. Let's see. I've gathered a few. So from Ty J, more Jeremy because of no Billy is really a kick in the groin. From Wineo, Jeremy embracing togetherness. Who would have thought, ... cupcake. From Krautcat, Jeremy is a lucky J who knows all the right people. Shocker. With a lightning bolt emoji. Of
What do you
course,
think he means by that?
That's to signify the SS, of course.
Kraut.
And then from Dat,
Journalism?
Jer-Emmy is a saint and should be protected at all costs.
Oh, that's nice. The Emmy in Jeremy is
Everyone was so nice.
What's a lucky J? Is it because your name is Jeremy?
It's either Jeremy or journalist,
Was it a
maybe.
big J?
It is a capital J.
Okay, they do that with Pablo.
Okay.
Zaslow, why are you smirking? Because he made it about himself?
I like hearing from the listeners. That's all. I like getting their thoughts.
Zaslow.
Big J as well. Jonathan.
Yeah, you're a lucky J as well.
You are a lucky J.
Mm-hmm. That's what my mom told me. I'm a special boy. Lucky J.
The one who gave you your bar mitzvah bonds, right?
That's right. I got those bar mitzvahs. I got those stocks and bonds on Sunday night. Hell yeah.
You're
your
one
boy-
lucky J.
One lucky J.
That's his name, Jonathan.
What team are we buying? Diamondbacks? Let's buy the Diamondbacks.
I'm weighing my options here, all right? But your boy,
Lucky Jays do love diamonds.
your boy fell into some money. That's right. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it to the bank. I'm gonna cash them in.
Oh,
that's right.
They control the banks.
It's a little bit.
Spend it all on John Cena's final match.
What's a little bit?
Well, let's just say, I'm probably gonna spend it all with John Cena's final match.
Oh, so not the Diamondbacks.
Zaslow
Might have to contribute a little on my own.
When you talk about lucky, Zaslow has been on an incredible hot streak. Everything he says turns to gold. Mississippi State wins its first conference
Sneaky
game.
decent.
Its first conference game in 2 years. Every time there's a punch on a football field, someone somewhere internationally is reaching out to Jonathan Zaslow.
Stop telling me if I know about that Lamb Man.
The sports media story that I want to talk about, though, Zaslow, and I wonder, amongst all of you, I think you're going to find parts of this interesting. We know all of these people. I like and respect all of these people. But this beef is ugly in a way that's public now. And so it starts with Michelle Beadle, who is a friend of ours. Michelle Beadle has been very critical over the years of Stephen A. Smith, and this is long running. They don't seem to like each other very much. And so here's what Michelle Beadle is saying most recently about Stephen A. Smith.
Because I don't respect him, and life's too short. The morning of my last day on Get Up, as Greeny was giving me a heartfelt goodbye, and I awkwardly sat there, as I was leaving the set, they started a promo that Stephen A. Smith will be on the show tomorrow. Like, it is him. So let's stop acting like the guy gets worked to death. It's him.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm like, he made you look like fools for handing him a blank check in the first place because he doesn't even give a shit about the stuff that he's paid $1 gazillion to talk about. And now he's turning around and turning that into a money-making opportunity. Yeah. And the money-making opportunity, turns out it looks like it's a fraudulent crap business to begin with. Honestly, I'm not a religious person, but I pray for the downfall. I really do.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
It's gross, man. You got to have principles in this thing. Look, my principles have definitely cost me money. I'm sure they've cost me jobs. I get it. But I don't regret a single one of them. And sometimes I've been very holier than thou, probably, in some of the things I've believed in. All right, it was true to myself. But, man, at some point, you just say no. You got to say no, man.
But why? My problem is, why are the other people not saying no? Like, listen.
Why is this downfall going to be amazing? I don't know. It feels like a stupid opinion. Like, why is Stephen A's downfall going to be amazing?
Oh, a lot of people are going to enjoy that downfall because a lot of people don't like the climb and don't like many of the things that Stephen A. Smith has done, including who he's been critical of. Because this, of course, is going to become about race, and I want to have the larger conversation about everything happening around Stephen A. Smith politically, where he's being used as a very useful tool by the right, but also profiting with great results on all the conquering he wants to do, but bringing to his doorstep fights that are now much larger than the ones he was having when it was just sports, as he continues, because he's a conqueror, to gather audience and welcome all of these fights. But this one surprised even him, because Kerry Champion, after what Michelle Beadle said, this is what Kerry Champion said he should have done in response to Michelle Beadle.
Stephen A. I played that Michelle Beadle clip for one reason and one reason only. I'm old enough to remember being on that show and getting in trouble based on some comments you said about women and whether or not they should know their place when it comes to abuse or non-abuse. Ray Rice comes to mind. Not going to get into the details of all of that. But Beadle just came for you yet again, like she did when I worked at ESPN. I wonder, do you have that same smoke for her that you have for Jasmine Crockett, that you have for Michelle Obama, that you sometimes display for me and Jamel Hill? Do you have that same smoke? I'm sick of it. Keep the same energy. And I call you and I root for you and I say, hey, I got your back. I'm happy for you. But you keep that same energy, sir, for everybody.
I understand Kerry's comments. We'll get into that for a second, but I just want to seize on useful tool kind of minimizes Stephen A's convictions on these matters. I don't think Stephen A is down to be used by anybody. I think Stephen A knows exactly what he is doing.
I'll preface it with, I don't know any of these three people. I mean, and I've literally never talked to Michelle Beadle or Kerry Champion before. I don't know any of these people. But I hate that from Kerry Champion. And the reason I personally, I have personal feelings about that, just the way that I am, is like, it's very clear that Stephen A, and Stephen A says this, it's very clear Stephen A certainly played a role in Kari Champion's career. And Kari Champion, sorry. And loyalty is a big deal to me. And it's why you're going to see Stephen A is really upset about it, because clearly he feels betrayed in this spot. And I feel like if someone was really good to you and someone was a good friend, I don't know why you would do what Kari Champion did right there, where she's essentially saying, hey, you know, can speak down about Michelle Beadle the way you speak down about these other women. But, I mean, loyalty is a really big deal to me, and I think it's really lame what Kari Champion did there.
Okay, so let's get to Stephen A's response here in a second. But just so that you know, I mean, this goes without saying. This is something that I would say to Stephen A. Smith and probably have, because he finds himself to great profit in the center of these race and politic wars. Obviously not a great look for anybody to have a fight with the white woman and then come back strongest at the black woman when you're critical, because Stephen A. Smith lit Kari Champion on fire, taking credit, I think, with truths that he was saying about really trying to help her career. And this is, I believe, as hurt and betrayed as you will ever hear in an honest fashion what Stephen A. Smith is saying, because even before you've heard this entire sound, what Zaslow is saying about Kari Champion there, when he says that's the part that's wrong, well, no, the part that would be wrong is what Stephen A. accuses her of here, which is saying, I never said those things about you and Jamel Hill. What things are you talking about? And at that point, it's beholden on Kari Champion to show us what those things are. Because here, Stephen A. Smith is just accusing her of flat out lying in order to get the clicks that come from being the person who piles on in this situation and takes out Stephen A. Smith, who's having all sorts of trouble with the black community because of the number of things that he's saying that are disparaging to the black community.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You just said, Kari, you called me, you root for me. Why would you root for somebody that called you out in Jamel Hill, who's your good friend? Because it's never happened. Never. I've shown you nothing but love. What are you talking about? You were hired at First Take in large part because of me. You stayed as long as you stayed and had the support of the people that supported you because of me. Do I need to get bosses to confirm that I'm telling the truth? You know I can. When we see the diverse people that come on First Take, black people, women, the list goes on and on. Who did that? That wasn't happening when Skip was there. That was me. What are you talking about?
That's I guess the dirtiest part of that sound, but that's a shocked, hurt, and betrayed Stephen A. Smith. Like whatever it is that you might think about the character persona and wherever it is that he's a wrestling character who's made for television, that one hurts. And it's one of the things that sucks at being at the center of this war. I will also say to you, it's exactly what ESPN didn't want. And it's exactly what ESPN chose when they put Pat McAfee on and cowboy hats and no politics and flannel shirts. Like, it's a conscious decision, and we're going to interview Donald Trump because they didn't want these wars near the sports. And now that Stephen A's got more power to do this stuff in politics, he's not allowed to do that on ESPN. He's got two different deals now. One's a sports career, the biggest you've ever seen in sports, and one's a giant political career now that's got real possibility because he is in a really useful lane to use all of the sports stardom and media platform to now become a real, true political player. And it doesn't matter whether you agree with him or not. Are you listening to him? Because the attention of the day and the currency of the day, all that matters is the attention. Like, the currency is just, can you get eyeballs? And he gets eyeballs. And he has to say things in order to get those eyeballs. And he has to keep up when other everybody's at this trough trying to chase him down.
So what did we learn? This is just so gratuitous. It just feels like high school gossip. I don't even know what our opinions are on this other than it's just ugly.
You don't know what my opinion is on this? What are you unclear about?
I mean, I hear your take, but it's not like I don't need the gossipy angles to know that take about where you stand on Stephen A. I mean, I think like at earlier, like we victimized Stephen A. I'm not down for that either. This is just all ugly, and I understand it gets traction and people like when people talk about it, but this one's empty. It is.
And so this is where all of the sports media beef goes to die, because this is
No, I think some of them have stuff, but this one doesn't. Like, it's just people that are willing to talk and air stuff out. Like, I don't even know what is at the heart of the beef between Carrie and Jamel. It's just mudslinging.
No, Carrie feels that he's not speaking about white women the way that he speaks about black women.
Yeah, but there seems to be more there that she alluded to and we didn't get to. Like, it's just none of my business.
There is more there. Like, when she mentions Jasmine Crockett, like, Stephen A. said that she has rhetoric for the streets. Like, he called Ben Shapiro, like, a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Fuentes, the guy who agrees with that guy from before who called me a big J, he ultimately said that Stephen A. is clearly red-pilled in embracing the right wing. Like, when Nick Fuentes is saying he believes you're coming to his side, maybe your rhetoric is what's sparking some of these things with Carrie Champion. He had to apologize, or decided to apologize, for what he said regarding Jasmine Crockett. But there are examples what feel like weekly where I'm looking at Stephen A. and going, man, I'm pretty surprised he's on that side of this conversation. And at this point, it's no longer surprising.
Yeah, I'm not
it's
getting
just
surprised.
where he is.
I'm not getting surprised by Stephen A.
So it is what it is. But that's the beef. I don't even think it's personal. I think that there is an element of like, man, this is almost the final straw. I don't think that this is.
Well,
the
she
beginning.
said she's tired of it. That was the final
Right.
straw, I guess.
But you guys don't find interesting when you step back and just look at let's make it the last 10 years in sports, and let's make it Colin Kaepernick was too hot for the league. All of that is blackballed. And just make it everything that's happened, the entire timeline, pandemic and everything else. Football getting in bed with every single corporate partner and growing as, taking racism, out of the end zones where they were stenciling it. Patrick Mahomes says something. Roger Goodell says, I was so wrong. And you still see that it's Portnoy and Kraft's box. And you see what's happened with the move of what happened with Joe Rogan influencing young bros has now happened, over here in sports. But I want to talk about the all of it.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about the all of it because it becomes like the same conversation we've always had. Like, it moved because progressives are much better at taking it on the chin, because the right is actually effective when it comes to cancel culture. Like, you see what they do to major corporations. They kowtow to a right base because they're the ones that actually get up in arms when it comes to cancel culture. Progressives have had to take it on the chin for 12 years. And if you want to use empty tweets as an example for snowflakedom and all of this actually moving a conversation, it's all BS. It's all BS. I'm a huge sports fan. Donald Trump has been inescapable when it comes to sports. The divide of keeping sports and politics, that lament that came from the right, it's all BS. They just wanted to keep away politics that disagreed with their personal
But how do you not find interesting the obvious shift of that over the last 10 years? That's not something that you find interesting?
There was a societal shift. And I think it's at the heart of it, it's money. Because the right is far more effective at actually canceling people.
I mean, the right's in leadership, right? Like the people who are comfortable bringing Donald Trump onto McAfee's show and having him be like, hey, look, it's Veterans Day. He's the commander-in-chief. But, I mean, let's be real. The guy's really funny. Like, that type of stuff happening on ESPN is because the people who are in power at Disney and everywhere else, like, that's who they want in power, right? And white men continue to seek and have that power. And it's just it's all laid out right in front of us. Sports media is sort of a result of where everything has gone. It's a microcosm of what we've seen generally in society as we've shifted this way.
Yo, what does it mean?
Hey, Taylor, that's where you've been this whole time. What's up, man?
I literally thought he had left the room. I was wondering, because I hadn't seen, I'd forgotten. It was so long ago that he dipped down under his computer.
Can you take my elevator?
He didn't. It was much slower than that. At first I thought he was looking for something, intently looking for research in a way I've never seen him try to prepare. But then I thought he was rummaging around in like a suitcase or something because he flew in this morning. I thought he was under the desk, and then I completely forgot about him. And then because Mike Ryan is telling me, poking me in the ear with get off of this subject, I thought Amin had just left the room to go to the bathroom because he's been lately incontinent. Or the opposite of incontinent, I guess. I mean, would you like to rejoin us? Not really?
Stugotz, you're here too? Wow!
Tony's top 5 is somewhere out in the wilderness. Before I get to Tony, though, let me get to the useless sound of the day. I want to get to this because I feel like every week we're getting to it later and later. We only have it on Wednesday. I'd love to have this on Monday or Tuesday. Regardless, old football sound that's useless is still tasting fresh.
Howdy.
There's nothing mystical about it. I believe in the guys we have, people in the room, coaches and players.
You know, football is the greatest team sport that there is.
I have a good feel of our players, and I know what we're capable of. I know what they're capable of, and so I don't know.
But it wasn't just buying that we have staying also.
Realistically, it was a full week of preparation that was diligent and, quite honestly, a little salty.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but, unfortunately got hurt.
They're in big people, and, there are some small spaces to get through, and our guys created some good spaces.
I always love the fight. You know what I mean? That's why I love coaching them, is that they fight and they compete.
It is truly all 11.
I don't know. I don't really think about scoring points.
I just say it's unfortunate he got hurt.
Part of winning in the National Football League is sustaining.
Bad on the coaching, bad on the players.
Right now, we just had a tough one here, Connor. We'll take a look at everything.
They just block all that crap out, man. They just go and they play football.
It's the unintended consequence of adversity. I think we've had our fair share of reps of having things not play out the way you kind of set out for them to play out.
Didn't feel like they did anything unanticipated, but certainly they outperformed us, particularly in possession down play.
He's been doing a great job. I mean, he's been busting his rear. He does every day. When he comes to work, he grinds on it, man.
Their players made plays. Our players did not.
A week-to-week league, you got to bring your A game every week.
I truly believe is once you build a foundation, if it's truly stable, then you can sustain winning.
When he was going in there, somebody said something like, what? Like, don't put him in.
There's ebbs and flows, and you just have to stay steady, stay even-keeled. I think our team has a bunch of mental toughness, resilience, and the ability to be able to respond. They stay connected through the good and through the challenging moments.
Third down.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is we gave up a 19-point lead to lose the game.
I can't see anymore.
I was actually really pumped. I told Tua on some third down calls to let it rip down the field and kind of operate it as an opportunity ball to, act as a punt.
Look, I'm not sure exactly the play that had happened, Connor.
We didn't play well enough today.
I don't know the exact play that it happened for him relative to getting hurt or not getting hurt. We'll be back. We'll be better. We have to be. I don't know the play.
Like I told him, man, I need you. I need you.
I don't know the play.
I think for me, the more I try to focus or overly try to do something, I tend to get worse at what I'm doing.
Did Dan Campbell say that someone was grinding on it?
Grinding on it, dog.
Come on, taste the taste of wetness.
That is what he said. He said busting his rear and grinding on it.
Slow grind.
Oh, look who's back. Tony, I don't know where he was. I saw a screen on preview that looked like an area of Miami that I've often seen gallina. I've seen roosters in that particular area, which doesn't seem like an area where roosters should be. But where are you joining us from? You're under a highway, Tony.
Dan, yes, thank you so much. I am at the foot right now of the I-95, right next to Jose Marti Park. And Dan, you may remember, movie watchers may remember this scene, this place from Scarface, Revenga.
Oh, wow.
Underneath the I-95, Freedom Town, Dano, yes, the 1980 Mariel boat lift. All the Cubans, they sent literally right here. They had a huge town of tents, tent city right underneath the I-95, right here, and that's where I'm at, Dano. A very little-known part of Miami.
That is hugely small movie trivia. 10 minutes of Scarface was filmed in Miami, and then the Cubans got mad and sent it to Los Angeles. What do you have?
That kind of thing.
It's not exactly a movie hallmark. No one goes to that place saying, I remember this scene from Scarface. This is not a tourism place.
I mean, it's actually like a historic place, and the fact that you have to be like, it's the place from Scarface is kind of crazy.
Rebenga.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Amin. Thank you so much, Mike. Yes, Dan, it's a massively important piece of our history. Imagine how many people, 250,000 people got let out from Cuba, sent right here because we didn't have space for them. Okay, and it was just like, all right, you're going to live underneath the overpass. Is that okay? And we're just like, yeah, I guess it's better than communism, so sure, we'll live under the overpass.
Also, a lot of people from insane asylums and jails because Fidel Castro sees on an opportunity to purge his country of people, and knowing that the U.S. would not turn anybody away.
Like Tony Montana.
Exactly right. And that's why they said, you know what? It's better than living in an insane asylum or in jail in Cuba. I'll live under the overpass. It's okay. So Freedom Town, 10th City right here, baby. Rebenga. Dan, we're going to start in the OLI. I got a lot to say this week. All right? We're gonna rife through the OLI real quick. Number 1, Bears are sneaky tough.
The Bears are sneaky tough. I don't think anybody would disagree
sneaky
with that.
Tough.
Oh, Amin disagrees with it.
They beat the Giants without Jackson Dart.
They overcame a 10-point deficit against the Giants at home. Who can do that except 3 other teams?
They've won 2/3 of their games.
They're 6-3.
Not impressed.
Let me jump in and remind the people, Tony's Top 5 is presented by Smirnoff, the official vodka sponsor of the National Football League. Smirnoff, please drink responsibly. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Vodka, 40% alcohol by volume.
How many other OLI you got, Tony?
4 more, but again, we're going to get through them real quick. Number 2, Davis Mills, gamer.
Aha! Wait a minute.
Somebody once told you, Davis Mills, there's something there.
Amin has something to rival Tony's hello.
Apparently not that quick.
Cody's hello. Aha!
That's very Eddie Murphy. Where's the spoon? Aha!
There it is.
Aha!
Lucky Jay.
All right. Number 3, Mike McDaniel, talk your boy. Let's go. I want to see him riding on that Matt Black Bentley with the arm out and elbow room. Like, yeah, what's up now, baby? What's up now? We beat that ass, baby. What do you say, Zaz? We took that ass?
Yeah, but like they're 3-7, Tony. It's what kind of behavior is that?
But you don't like football. What do you know? What do you know? You don't like football. You know about that landman, by the way?
Everyone's telling me, stop texting me. You know about that landman. I don't care.
All right, OLI number 4. 2 teams won 44-22, which is cool. Nothing important. Just wanted you guys to store that away for your records.
That's not a useful observation of any kind.
But what? 2 teams won 44-22 exactly. Okay, we always cheer scoregami in this place. How about a not scoregami, but like something cool to just store away for your records?
But it's not,
Week 9, 2025, 44-22. It happened twice. Okay, whatever.
It's asinine.
Baby cart walking by.
I'll tell you what else, Tony. Jacoby Brissett in that game was 22 for 44. Weird.
No way.
You like stutter?
No. But hey, I thought you were doing a thing on me, bro. You've been a sucker lately.
Number 5.
Number 5. Last one. Or no, last OLI here. Here come the Ravens, Dano.
Hello.
Thank you, Greg.
Tony, these all deserve to not be mentioned. Everything you just said deserved to just start
on
with
the outside.
In
his defense, I mean, OLI for a reason.
Start with number 5.
Exactly. All right, number 5, Bo Nix. More like Bo Stinks.
Hello.
Get it down with the X. Stinks with the X at the end. Stinks.
All right, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Does Bo Nix stinks with an X? Number 4.
With an X, yeah. Number 4, Jonathan Taylor's on pace for 2,200 yards and 30 touchdowns. You know what that means, Dano?
Are you going to put him in the MVP conversation?
No, I'm not going to put him in the MVP conversation, but the RB is back, Jack. Running back is back in a big way, baby.
I don't believe that's accurate. Number 3.
Number 3, then you might not like this one. And I might get a lot of flack for this one online. Josh Allen is Phillip Rivers. He'll never win a Super Bowl.
Wow.
He's going to be a great guy. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame.
No.
He'll win an MVP. He's never going to win a Super Bowl. It's just not in the cards for him. Josh Allen is Phillip Rivers. Again, I love Phillip Rivers. I love Phillip Rivers. He's great.
Another window.
Hall of Famer.
So hold on. Just so I cover this correctly, just to cover the spectrum. yesterday on the show, this is 1 week after beating the Chiefs. Losing to the Dolphins is such an indignity that Zaslow says the Bills' window is closed. Tony says Josh Allen will never win a Super Bowl. And Greg Cody says the window was never open for Buffalo, that it hasn't been open for 50 years. There's never been an open window because they're Buffalo. That happens 1 week after beating Kansas City.
Yep, exactly.
No, for the
Thank you.
love of
You're
God.
tracking.
And Juju's been telling us the Bills are not good for a while.
So it's done. So none of you said this after they beat the Chiefs. Not one of you.
We all did.
They're 5-0. They're 5-1 against them in the regular season. Who cares?
That's literally Zaz's analysis.
Who cares?
So the game beating the Chiefs means nothing, but the game losing to the Dolphins means everything.
Beating the Chiefs in the regular season means nothing.
Losing to the Dolphins is so much worse than beating the Chiefs is good.
It's like playing well at Summer
good
League.
point.
Dan, if you play well at Summer League, nobody cares. It's Summer League. But if you play poorly at Summer League, everyone's like, oh, my God, it's Summer League. How can you be so bad at this? Same thing.
Number two,
I think the Patriots are legit Super Bowl contenders, Dano.
Hello.
I think the Patriots are legit Super Bowl contenders. I think they could be a sneaky 1 seed in the AFC. And I think if things break their way, Drake May takes that next step within the step that he's already taken this season. I think they can find themselves in the Super Bowl.
1 win in Tampa and 1 loss in South Florida, and you guys have now given the AFC East to the Patriots, and it's over, and you're going to make the Patriots Super Bowl champion possibilities, when none of us would have said that 4 games ago.
Maybe it's muscle memory. They've been doing that for 25 years down here.
You're just scared of them?
It's Pat the Patriot.
That's how good Drake May looks.
Oh,
That's
and
the
those
real
uniforms
scary
this
thing.
weekend.
Good, that crossing route throw.
Yeah.
Whew, he's good.
Yeah.
Number
He's
one,
good. Kid's good.
You've got two. You've
Number
got two
one,
better
Dan.
than changing the entirety of the AFC East.
Yeah, and this one might not be a popular pick, and especially after what happened Monday night. I think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. It happens every year, okay? There's a team that is in flux. There's a team that has this great potential that in the middle of the season, there's turmoil, there's turbulence. We don't know what's happening with this team. A.J. Brown is putting weird quotes. Jalen Hurts, what is he doing? He's throwing the ball into the stands. The Eagles are just fine. They're going to win the Super Bowl, Dano. Remember I said it here. The same week that we had 244-22 wins, that same week I said Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. We'll replay this in February when the Eagles beat the Seahawks or something in the Super Bowl. Or, excuse me, they can't beat the Seahawks. My bad. When they beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, rematch of 2018, Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
There
I don't
it
know why I
is.
said Seattle.
There's the dismount right there. Tony's greatest of all the achievements was Philadelphia and Seattle in the Super Bowl. Put it on the poll.
Back in the day, it could have happened. They were in the AFC. Did you know that?
Weren't the Heat in the Western Conference?
They
Like
were.
the Astros in the
They
NL.
were.
We were?
Southwest Division.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony. I can't believe that the ending of Tony's Top 5 is a Philadelphia-Seattle Super Bowl. Thank you. You're joining us from something that is definitely
Rebenga.
It's not a landmark. It was just temporarily a homeless encampment.
You know about that landmark?
It's a strange place to join us from. Thank you. I don't.
Hello.
I can't believe that Scarface has held up for 45 years so that Tony's joining us from a parking lot I actually recognize.
I'll bet that inaugural Western Conference Heat team wasn't taken off of back-to-back as a rest. Tell you what.
No, it's because they sucked.
You think Ron Rothstein would let that happen?
You think Ron Rothstein was like, hey, you're going to rest tonight. You're going to rest.
Another Lucky J.
Is that your limited fake, Ron Rothstein?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell him tonight. I'm going to see him tonight. I'm going to say, this is what Zazzle thinks.
What kind of
you
Ron
sound like.
Rothstein
Roll
was
it.
that? That was not a
You're
good...
going to rest tonight, so you need a rest.
Ron Rothstein, the coach of the 15-win Heat.
He's so tired.
Is the guy that you want managing today's player.
Zaz, Jeff Pearlman put a podcast episode out.
I'm dying
on
to
the
talk to
entire
him.
expansion
I'm
Heat.
dying to talk to him. It's
was
going to be my
good.
favorite Zaslow Show
It was
2.0
good.
ever. I want him on my
He calls
show.
the 1988 expansion team the greatest expansion team of all time.
It's a great episode.
If I were the type of NFL fan that would just try to travel around the nation to go to games that Spiro Didis is calling, I would have opened up the Game Time app and been firmly entrenched in conviction that Tennessee-Houston, that's definitely the Spiro game. did some research. It's on Fox.
What?
What are we doing?
What? Come on.
Can Fox rent Spiro for this game? Any Hoodles, if you want to watch that game or any NFL game, why don't you take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time? Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN, that is DAN, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Swipe, tap, ticket, go.
It's been fun basketball to watch, and last night's Philadelphia-Boston game was fun to watch. But before I get into some basketball topics with Amin here that I've been wanting to get to, the telephone number, if you want to contribute to the show with calls and with hot takes, is 305-486-GOTS. We have an old-fashioned answering machine where you could just whisper your funny, sweet nothings. If you think you could be funny as an anonymous person, 305-486-GOTS. I've got very little data so far to support that you can be funny as an anonymous person. The best call we've gotten here is as an impersonation of Steve from Sex and the City.
Miranda?
This segment has produced only that.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Damn it. I had finally gotten it out of my head for a couple of weeks. No,
This segment gives us a lot of funny callers, man. These people are excellent, including my bartender at the American Airlines Lounge yesterday in Phoenix. Joseph, shout out to you, bro.
He was one of them?
He wants to be one of them.
Oh, okay.
He said he's working on his bit. He soft launched it with me.
What did you just shout out?
Shout out to the bartender, man.
No, but you shout out a bartender who has nothing to do with this
Working
segment.
on it, because he's working on his bit. He soft launched the bit.
I appreciate
with me, and
that.
I said it's good. I gave him some tweaks and stuff. We'll hear it for
should
maybe
have
in the
told
last
him
couple
name
weeks.
drop you. That would help his cause.
The Boost Mobile Boldest Take is presented by Boost Mobile, the newest 5G network in the country.
The Miami Dolphins should name their team the Miami Ass and change their logo to an ass. Not a nice ass, like an old man's ass.
If all of mankind had to agree on one haircut, it would be the Billy Ray Cyrus.
Dan's overuse of the word apocalyptic really ticks me off. My dog just took an apocalyptic deuce.
I feel like everybody who grew up in middle America has an aunt that looks like Lions rookie right guard Tate Ratledge.
Greg Cody faked his knee injury so he wouldn't have to walk to Seattle.
There is no coach in college football that looks more like their team's mascot than Dan Lanning.
Whenever the color commentator draws two yellow circles around the two deep safeties, I'm always hoping that they'll accidentally draw a penis.
Do you ever notice how when you look at the words I'm sane, the M kind of looks like two little N's, so it still just looks like insane?
So you have fingertips, but no toe tips. Yet you can tippy toe, but nobody tippy fingers.
Is an orange called an orange because it's orange? Or is an orange called an orange because it's an orange?
My dad says Jonathan Zaslow is a sucker.
Come on, Dan. That was a good batch.
That might be the best one ever.
Let me tell you something. Dan.
Miami ass.
Do you know what Tate Ratledge looks like?
Throw it up, video team.
That's somebody's aunt. That's somebody's aunt right there with a mustache.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Should the Dolphins helmet logo be an old man's ass?
You hear that? Zaz said you're a sucker.
Yo, I'm trying to forget that, all right?
The telephone number is 305-486-GOTS. I mean, I'm wondering, for all the people having opinions, okay, and I don't see this particular thing happen very often, where the internet rises up, social media, international fandom rises up and says, that move that was just made in sports is so shocking that I know the executive to be a fool. And then a few months later, the organization, after trading away Luka, says, you're right, that executive is to blame. He needs to be fired. This sports story compares to what in terms of the internet getting to be right and feeling like Greg Cody singing Ethel Merman songs because everybody was right. Oh, yeah, Dallas Mavericks, you didn't actually know what you were doing.
Hello.
Dan, I think Zach Harper said it best. Me and him did live radio on Sirius XM NBA radio yesterday. And he said, the irony is, on January 31st, 2025, if you polled NBA media, NBA personnel, NBA fans, How good of a job has Nico Harrison done as general manager of the Mavericks? Overwhelmingly, people say, this guy's done a great job. He's done a great job. He's really, he drafted Derek Lively.
Great trades in the finals
P.J.
run.
Washington and Daniel Gafford and and the Kyrie Irving trade, which was a little bit risque at the time, but totally paid off.
Not a little bit. That wasn't a little bit risky at the time. That was a home run.
Yeah, yes, a home run in terms of the amount of risk and the payoff. Yeah. It's the awesome thing. And it's this guy's done a great job. And 48 hours later, you're the worst general manager of all time. Dan, I used to do this thing where I explain to people what front office work really is. It's I say, look, anyone could say, yeah, I'll take LeBron. That's easy. It's a no-brainer. Real front office work is all the minutia and the details and finding these weird players and pieces from all over the world. Front office work isn't Duke versus North Carolina. It's Iona versus Marist.
Front office work finding Davion Mitchell.
Right, it's stuff like that, right? That's what I always just say, that's front office work. And now Nico ruined that completely because apparently the no-brainer stuff is pretty important too. It's just ridiculous. Dan, dare I say it, it's on the Mount Rushmore of worst transactions in NBA history.
We can have said that when it happened, correct?
Yes, you're absolutely right. So one of the things that is pretty shocking is sometimes things in hindsight are bad. So I'll give you a great example. The Clippers trading all that stuff for Paul George in order to sign Kawhi Leonard. At the time, we were like, steep price, but wow, what a gutsy move. Wow, they've really moved their names into the echelons of championship contention, right? And now we look back oh my God, they're still paying off the picks and the guy that they traded is the MVP and the finals MVP and all that.
I mean, in hindsight right now, essentially the Clippers trading Norman Powell for Bradley Beal and John Collins. Bad move.
Bad move, right? It's a bad move. But the reality is Luka Doncic, the moment it happened, Dan, it was so outrageous that people literally were texting and calling Shams saying, yo, you got hacked. Yeah. Think about how outrageous it has to be. For not even people to say, oh, this is NBA Centel. They called the source and told him, yo, there's something wrong with your social media. Someone's having fun with your account. That's how ridiculous it was in the moment. Dan, I went to All-Star Weekend, and I had presidents of basketball operations and GMs come up to me and say, what are they doing? Not on I can't believe they do. What are they doing? But serious curiosity. No, tell me, because as a front office person, your usual inclination is if something happened that is unexplainable on the surface, that means there's something happening behind closed doors that nobody knows about. And so clearly there must be something more to the story. 9 months later, Dan, we realized there was nothing more to the story. Yep. He just thought that was a good deal.
Yep.
But that's not new, Amin. The thing that I'm sort of blown back by on the mushroom cloud of this is it happens. It's seismic. We all back away from it dumbfounded. Everyone has the same opinion. There are no dissenters on a sports opinion. This is something you do not do. And then 8 months later, they're like, yeah, something happened in the last 8 months that makes this fireable, even though that wasn't fireable while we were all calling it fireable. Things like this don't happen, I mean,
people aren't ever this unpopular. They put emergency stairs next to his seat so he could get out of there quicker. When they travel on the road, people are drowning the lower bowl out with Fire Nico.
Their own fans hate their team now.
They're struggling. He is so unpopular, you almost have to.
One of the things that I think has to be marveled at here is how badly ownership miscalculated the importance of the emotional relationship that a region has with this player, so that the betrayal is so seismic that you're firing somebody 8 months late for what they did 8 months ago because you underestimated what the reaction would be.
So Dan, I've talked about this also, the idea of crater transactions. And what I mean by that is it is so deeply hurtful to the fan base that it never comes back. A great example of this is Dominique Wilkins. In 1994, the Hawks had the number 1 record in the Eastern Conference. They're a couple of games back for the best record in the league. and they traded Dominique Wilkins
for Danny Manning.
Who was going to be a free agent at the end of the year, ends up leaving at the end of the year. Spoiler alert, right? So,
by the way, the Heat almost traded Glenn Rice before that for Danny Manning. Yeah, hot tip.
Danny Manning was the guy. But so Dan,
useless information.
I know.
Not to me. I love. Glenn
I remember
Rice.
you were on that beat in the Herald.
Not to me.
Dominique Wilkins, homegrown, went to UGA. Like Atlanta loved him, and Atlanta loved Hawks basketball, right? And Dominique Wilkins was this guy, and he went up against Bird toe-to-toe in a Game 7 and had the incredible scoring back. And then he had the dunk contest battles with Michael Jordan and held his own and beat him and all that stuff. So Dominique was like Atlanta's identity. And then they traded him.
Across sports and generations,
Yes.
right? Like maybe the most famous athlete in Atlanta not named Hank Aaron.
No,
like,
Deion Sanders. Like there's a lot of names. But
Dominique was first.
At that moment in time, Dominique was everything, right? You know, Hank Aaron obviously for societal, cultural reasons, but like Dominique was like, yeah, because he's ours. They traded him, and the team was still good. Like it's not like they fell off a cliff, but the fan base resented it, and to this day, they have problems with attendance because that was a crater-inducing transaction. They killed NBA basketball in that city for 3 decades because they made a deal that did not take into account what these people are.
You could argue the Marlins have had several crater transactions, but the one that did me in was the one with the Blue Jays, and then they won that trade, but it didn't even matter. And the Deshaun Watson thing totally cratered my fandom.
Right, but it didn't crater.
Well, it cratered the team. And the NFL's a different animal.
Like I'm talking about a transaction that is so outrageous. You have fans leaving in droves, and never coming back. It's 2025. He got traded in 1994. They still haven't come back. Not to the levels it was at the Omni, right? Another example, this a little different. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I think George Shinn was the owner of the Hornets, and he was just an awful person. And the fans in Charlotte, which, Dan, you remember this, Charlotte used to be a model NBA market. Look at how fervent these people are.
Those games were so
fun. They love NBA basketball. The Hive, sitting on the top of that hill, right, with the parking lot. I went to the last game, went out there, 20,000 people in that parking lot. Went inside, maybe 5,000 people. They hated what they had done to the Hornets, and this man in particular. He moves the Hornets to New Orleans. They bring the team back as the Bobcats. Bobcats change their name to the Hornets. Guess what? It still has never come back. They've never gotten to the levels that they had back in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Is that what's going to happen to the Mavericks?
Given that they fired him this quickly, I'm wondering if they got out in time. But if this thing had continued, if you let this guy continue to do these things, who knows? Maybe it would have been created because, remember, new ownership group, no one's fond of them. They're not locals. No one feels an affinity to them. And then this guy comes in, and he does, like I said, a Mount Rushmore worst deal of all time. Dan, if I give you 2 other transactions, you tell me what's worse than this one, right? So we got Luka for Anthony Davis in a first-round pick. You have James Worthy, or the number 1 overall pick, basically, that became James Worthy, for Don Ford and a first-round pick. Or you have Joe Barry Carroll for Robert Parrish and a first-round pick that was Kevin McHale. What's the worst trade of all time? I need a 4th. I'm still looking for a 4th.
Miguel Cabrera trade.
The part about this that is truly really something that is stupefying to me as somebody who's watched sports all his life is to have an ownership so disconnected from whatever the emotion of sports is their business. It's the emotion business. So that of all of the people that you mentioned there, the one with the greatest promise that gives you, wait a minute, for 10 years we get to have a guy who might be an all-timer. We get to watch him grow up. This is the beginning of our relationship with him. We are going to only grow this over 10 years because when he hurts, we will hurt with him. And if he finally wins, he's ours. We saw it from the beginning. This is the best of the players you're talking about. Like, this kind of trade is the modern day. It's the modern day trading of Babe Ruth that haunted you talk about crater trades that haunted the Red Sox for 100 years.
How is it good business to literally do something that your entire customer base is going to hate?
So here's the thing. Luka came into a situation where this franchise had grown to love Dirk Nowitzki. 8 billion years playing for the same team. They saw him when he was a skinny teenager and then the champion and everything in between. And they had the really rare thing that doesn't always happen in sports where the passing of the torch, there is no dead period in between. Oh, what are we going to do? Larry Bird retired. Oh, like, oh, finally, here comes Paul Pierce 10 years later. No. It was real time. We're teammates. My name's Dirk Nowitzki. His name is Luka. Boom. Luka loved Dallas. He embraced Dallas, right? If there was any sort of rumbling that I'm like, this guy's looking somewhere else, he's not happy, I think it might have been different. But the fact that he was so ingrained there, that's a shocking thing for this fan base that had gotten used to, hey, our stars don't leave. So I think those are the things. But Dan, in order to move this story forward, because I know everyone has pretty much said all these things, I'd like to quote something from the Substack of a guy I worked with in Phoenix. His name is Jeremiah Engelman.
What do you say?
He used to work for the Mavericks. He said, the day after the Mavericks lost their final game to Golden State in the 2022 Conference Finals, I met with Nico to formally quit my position and to have an exit interview. There, I warned Nico about some of the developments I had witnessed during his first year in office. In particular, that he did not have a good grasp of who he should trust and who among those under him were simply kissing ass. Nico had drowned out many of the voices who could provide perspective, including those of the department where I was an analyst. Instead of being willing to hear critical input, Nico had empowered people who had little basketball knowledge, and those tend to be people, such as attorneys, who had worked their way up this ladder thanks to Nico himself. These people stroked Nico's ego at every turn. So he surrounded himself with yes men. So you say, how could they, what bad business sense? If everyone around you said, yeah, good idea, boss, and you literally worked to shield all the people who say opposing opinions, then all you're going to hear is like, yeah, this is a great idea. Yeah, he is fat and out of shape. Yeah, no, we should be. Defense does win championships. And all those ridiculous reasonings to do that deal.
It's cutting a little close to the bone.
And so this was in 2022, you just said that?
Yeah, well, Jeremiah wrote that today or yesterday, but yes, he left in 2022.
I mean, like, Cuban hired him, and Cuban was still the owner of the team and super involved for several years, when Nico Harrison is running the team that year, like, it just slips under the cracks?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, he's talking about a point in time at the beginning of this, right? And so Mark Cuban's probably saying, oh, he's good, he's got a great relationship with people, et cetera, et cetera. He's not coming to Mark with, let's trade Luka in 2022.
I'm trying to think of most unpopular executives ever. I'm trying
Jerry
to
Krause.
think of, Jerry Krause.
The executive who traded Gretzky in Edmonton.
Jerry Krause, yeah, that's a good one.
That one took years for them to climb back out of.
What's his
cratering
name?
Transactions.
I forget his name.
There you go. No, he ain't on the list then.
Can't win this game.
Yeah.
We gotta know your name.
Don't do the name 3 songs. It was a good point.
Thanks, Mike.
Nico Harrison will go down after, and I understand how it is you get lightheaded with the success of. We were praising those Mavs trades when they got to the finals, and we're thinking, oh, look, Luka got there a little faster than I thought. What's his suffering curve going to look like? How soon before he wins a championship the way Dirk does? Because that city, that town had invested emotionally in a player. Like, I really think that even everyone listening to this, I think we all underestimated what that relationship was. I don't think any of us would have said at the time of the trade, Nico's going to need secret stairs to get out of the arena faster 8 months from now, because there are going to be death threats and the hostility is going to be such that the entire customer base is going to turn on the franchise. Anthony Davis isn't going to play in any of the games. They're not going to have any success whatsoever. It's obviously going to be a disaster of a trade right from the beginning, and he's going to need secret stairs as an escape hatch.
But Dan, here's the thing. Part of it is, how could you trade our prodigal son, right? But part of it is, how could you trade him for that? If you come back with Anthony Edwards, they'd be upset, but they'd be like, all right, I kind of see your logic. I think Luka's better, but whatever. They didn't trade him for someone of equal status or equal age. They traded him for someone who's older, and also, your whole thing is, I'm worried about Luka's durability. You can't then go out and get someone who is known for their lack of durability. It would be like saying, yo, I got to trade in my Suburban because it doesn't get good gas mileage. And you trade it in, so what'd you get? What's the new car? It's a Hummer. Like, no, you got an older car that is worse of a gas guzzler. It doesn't make sense.
Dan, Anthony Davis has been a Dallas Maverick for 48 games now. You want to take a guess at how many games he's played?
20?
14. That's the guy.
You're not playing the game right.
That Nico Harrison identified as that's why they only negotiate with the Lakers. That's the guy that he identified. This is the guy that's going to help me win a championship right now.
Well, and when you're talking about loyalty, like when you have someone you've grown attached to that you've seen year after year, like imagine you're a fan of All My Children and you've watched your favorite actress get nominated 18 times for an Emmy, and then they would have decided to cut her from the staff just before winning her 19th Emmy, Susan Lucci.
Susan Lucci, who moved?
You are such a theater kid.
All My Children? Is that still on? Is the soap opera All My Children still on? What is the go-to soap opera that people go to now? When
General Hospital.
It's still General Hospital. Can I just get all of the sound of Mad Dog? Because we didn't do nearly enough of this yesterday, and I'd like to just tickle Mike with it because it is a rant that no one disagrees with. Mad Dog Russo is a man of the people. He is speaking nothing but drooling truth here when he yells at the federal government because everyone's flights are delayed, airports are terrible, and he chooses all the right words and almost breaks character entirely when he starts talking about why is Donald Trump talking to Jonathan Vilma about the 2005 Saints.
Flights are delayed, and shout out to Joseph the bartender.
All of you should be ashamed. Every single elected official on both sides of the aisle should look themselves in the mirror how they let down the American public and made us a laughingstock around the world. This is not about winners and losers, who is right and who is wrong. This is about doing something good for the American people and say, you know what? All right, they're wrong, but I got to step up here and make sure that the air traffic controllers are there with aircraft and in towers. Not saying, well, your turn, LaGuardia, your turn, Kennedy. Newark, it's been 40 minutes. Send a plane out that's been sitting there for 15 hours. That's not the way this works. If you're the President of the United States or you're a Republican who controls everything, you do what's right for the American person, and they didn't do that. And the Democrats, you're dead wrong, too. The both of you. You all go to hell. Every single one of you.
That's the first part.
I mean, it's ridiculous what they put us through. I mean, who knows how dangerous it was to fly with nobody in the freaking towers. I mean, my God almighty. And I got the president sitting there with freaking Vilma breaking down the 2003 Saints. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And chest bumping Vilma. When they got a 75-year-old who's been sitting in Miami International for 3 days. He got hearing aids. He can't hear the announcecements of when its JetBlue flight takes off for Bozeman. Oh, my God, it's sickening. I can't stand it. I should move the hell. I should be, Susan Lucci, who moved? No, Longoria moved. I should do the same thing. I'll do the show from Madrid. I'll do it live at 9 o'clock at night. Jesus, oh my God, 11 in front of the hour, returning on Mad Dog Nation.
The towers!
Put it on the poll. Are there any direct flights from Miami to Bozeman? Because I don't believe there are. I don't even
think we have JetBlue at MIA.
Fort Lauderdale, right?
I'll
You're
tell
the
you
mind,
what,
guys.
Tell you what, that 75-year-old man with the hearing aids who was stuck in Miami International for 3 days, I'll bet he wasn't lying on the floor. Disgusting.
People are so mad at what's happening right now in the airports, and that general frustration that he just articulated is happening inside of everyone who's wandering around airports right now with 7, 8 hour, 10-hour delays.
That's why I was in the lounge yesterday, chatting it up with Joseph, listening to him give me his Boost Mobile hot take.
Okay.
Enough.
Look, your bartender crafting a
callback, Dan.
A boost. Thank you, Chris. For you know what? Hold on a second.
Me?
Oh, yeah, you. Yes, you. Because you're explaining to me that it's a callback. Like
minor penalty, 2 minutes for explaining the show.
Wow.
You think I didn't get that he was trying to annoy me for the third time with the bartender who gave him a joke that we didn't use on the air?
Shout out to Joseph.
Run out of here like Jim Fix, Chris.
Yo, stop trying to make Joseph a thing. Nobody cares.
Hey, man, I look after my people. I'm not like you, a user.
I look after my people.
Who have you looked after?
Anyone who's my person has been looked after.
Name one.
It's too many to name.
You threw trash at me.
Okay, that's a callback. That
I deny that. There's no way that was true.
Okay.
Ask Tommy Tig.
For those of you who do not know, Zaslow Show 2.0 is Jonathan Zaslow's solo adventure. He is a toddler, and his wife. How many times a week or month do you guys have date night?
We try to go one night a week. I travel on the weekends now during football season, so yeah, one night a week.
Okay, so one night a week you're going on date night, and how long have you been doing this, and what is the philosophy behind the importance of date night? Because you're a very hard worker, so I imagine your wife is like, at least one night a week we're not going to be watching the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said the philosophy. I travel on the weekends during football season, so one night a week we try and go out.
You did say the philosophy. I wasn't listening to you. I was just thinking of thoughts in my own head. Regardless, the leaving yesterday on an important night.
Yeah.
That is.
She was into it too.
You were going to be present and available and as sexy as you've ever been.
Panthers weren't playing last night. Heat weren't playing last night. Perfect night.
What does you sexy look like?
Taste the taste of wetness.
I mean, it's this.
Is that?
This is.
I can style you if you know. I can do that for you.
I don't need that.
Well, do you?
No, I don't need that.
Oh, well, but what happened?
Well,
you do need that.
I don't know what was wrong with what. Go ahead. I mean,
you dressed like that on the date?
Well, yeah, I was dressed like what I was wearing yesterday on the show. All right, because the day was yesterday, so I was dressed like this.
The Fetterman
You
collection.
hated that, and she wanted me to change. I was wearing a Roman Reigns shirt. All right, that's Tribal Chief right there. And she's like, "You're wearing that?" I go, "Yeah, this is what I'm wearing." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." And she wouldn't let me keep my Roman Reigns shirt. So she's like, I'm going to dress you. I'm like, "No, I don't need to be dressed. This is a great shirt, Roman Reigns." And she wouldn't let me wear it. Well,
Does she buy clothes for you or
No, I bought my own clothes, dog. Come on.
So all she's picking from is different shirts. Like
I think that was implied with the whole Roman Reigns shirt. I think it was implied that she doesn't buy your
what
clothes.
a great question from Amin. So you think that his wife put together today's outfit, do you?
No, when she says you're not wearing that, you got to wear something else, it implies like she bought him regular clothes. If he's taking the Roman Reigns shirt and putting on a John Cena shirt instead, hardly an upgrade,
Yeah, it's a lot of Panther shirts, some Heat shirts, a lot of WWE shirts. That's my style, man.
Well, that's what she fell in love with, to be fair.
That's what I'm saying, man. Don't try and change me.
What'd you wear to your wedding?
Tuxedo shirt.
And jorts?
How does this go over? How often does this happen? Like this, how long have you been married? Like this is not the first time you've gone out on a date dressed as Zaz.
Our wedding was our anniversary was last month, and that was 18 years ago. You were at my wedding.
And yes, I do. I remember going to your wedding, and now that I think about it, you were wearing a tuxedo. But your wardrobe since then has just been 18 years of collecting sports shirts and wrestling shirts. How often does she tell you to change the attire? How often do you comply in the changing of attire?
She really doesn't tell me that often. Look, we got a good thing going here, the two of us, I don't tell her what to wear. She doesn't tell me what to wear.
But last night was a bridge too far?
Last night, you know what I think it was? We were going to a restaurant. We were going to a bar where there was going to be a bunch of people from her work there. So
that's not a date night. So I got news for you. That's
no,
not
we
a date
sat.
night.
We sat the two of us at the bar. We did not sit with the work people. All right, we sat
They're in the
two
same
of us
place though.
No, they were at tables. We were at the bar doing our own thing. It was a date. All right, you don't know what a date is. I know what a date is. So last night I guess she didn't want me wearing my Roman Reigns shirt.
It's a conversation piece.
That's what I'm saying. It says acknowledge me.
You know about that tribal chief?
I know. You know about that Ulafala?
Do you guys want to play? Do you know about that? Are you ready to play?
Always ready.
You're always ready to play? You know
Born
about
ready.
that?
Born ready.
Oh, really? Yep. Always ready. I want you to imagine Zaslow right now in a Roman Reigns shirt. The confidence of a man who can tell whoever it is in his life that is telling him how to dress, no, you will not dress me, and then go to the closet and get dressed the way that he's supposed to. Who are you directing? Do you know about that?
It's not do you know about that, Dan?
It's You Know About That. That's right. Another edition of You Know About That. Amin is here with us in studio, so it's a good opportunity for us to go over some of the big stories of the NBA. Welcome to another edition of You Know About That. You ready, Amin?
I'm always ready.
What is that? Was that your game show?
Yeah.
That was you applying for the job of Jeremy Taché, Mario Lopez game show host? The fake laugh?
Yeah.
Gonna have to work on that.
All right.
Amin is always ready.
Not so easy, huh?
Unless you ask me about Michelle Beadle.
Draymond Green, very upset last night, talking about players' agendas. I don't know. Who do you think he was talking about? Maybe Steph Curry? You know about that agenda?
I know about the agenda. The speculation is that he's talking about Jonathan Kuminga, who is young and up and coming, and sometimes the follies of youth demand greater than what the team is requiring. And so I think him and Jimmy were probably both talking about him. I can't think of anyone else.
Not Steph Curry?
No, it's not about Steph Curry.
All right. Sounds like you know about that player agenda. All right. Amin, the NBA announced yesterday the new All-Star format. It's the U.S. versus the world. Bunch of cockamamie ideas for how they're going to pick the teams and play in this many quarters. You know about that new cockamamie All-Star format?
Yes, first of all, shout out to the Cock because they'll be airing all the All-Star festivities this year. The format basically is you're still going to vote for 24 All-Stars. They'll split them up into 3 different teams of 8. 2 of them are USA teams. 1 of them is a world team. Here's the thing, though, guys. This year, there are no positions. So, in years past, you get 2 guards and 3 front court. None of that. It's just 24 All-Stars. Now, the part that I don't get is what happens if we have 9 foreign players who are really good? Or what if we have 6 foreign players who are really good and, 2 guys are just kind of like, all right.
You know about those uneven players?
I'm honestly a little bit more worried about the Americans at this point.
Can we not get 16 American players? Yeah.
All right. Sounds like you know about that new All-Star format. Amin, the Dallas Mavericks lost again 2 nights ago at home. They're terrible at home. The Mavericks, they were blaming the fans' behavior, that they're chanting for the GM to be fired. It's not a home court advantage. They're blaming the fans for their lack of wins. You know about that?
I didn't know about them blaming the fans.
It is you know about that. He just said you know about that.
It's you know about that.
It is you know about that. Why'd you correct me?
You know about that?
It is you know
said,
about that.
You said, do you know about that?
Do you know about
You had
that?
the do.
You say it like a dork.
Like an undercover cop. Did they blame the fans? I don't see that. I saw the part where a fan.
Cooper Flagg's mom retweeted it.
Well, Cooper Flagg's mom is not the Mavs.
Okay.
Respectfully.
All right.
Respectfully.
Okay, so he did know about that, or he didn't know about that?
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, no, Amin, he didn't know about that. All right. Amin, the Celtics dropped to 5-7 after last night's loss to the Sixers. You know about those 2 under 500 Celtics?
I do know about that. And this is the part that I can't lie, I've been waiting for years.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Mike McDanielization
Love it.
of Joe Mazzulla. Because all that cute stuff,
Not so cute anymore.
it ain't so cute anymore when
Playing
you ain't
versus
winning.
the media game? Oh, that was fun.
Oh, yeah, we're going to beat them. All right, how about you beat the Sixers? How about you do that?
God, Cooper, get a nickname. Hurry.
Sounds like you know about that, Amin. Amin, Ja Morant is shooting just 35% on the season after going 4 for 14 in last night's loss at the Knicks. You know about that Ja Morant who can't shoot anymore?
I know all about that. And last night is cementing in my head he wants out because it felt like at times like this is a guy on strike. This isn't a guy who's I'm trying my best and I can't fit. It's like, you know what? To hell with this system. To hell with this team. I'm going to do whatever. I'm good.
8 turnovers.
8 turnovers. You know what? I know all about that. I also know about who are the teams that have been picking up the phone and making a little call.
Well, give it to us.
I happen to know.
Wait a minute.
I happen to know.
Wait a minute. You can't bury a happen to know on Ja Morant this late in the show inside of a
60 your nose.
Do you know about that?
He happens to know? Great Scott, he happens to know. He happens to know. Gather everyone. Get the children. He happens to know. So wise.
Dan, both the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Sacramento Kings are monitoring the situation making calls with the Memphis Grizzlies.
Monitoring.
Oh my God, he knows. He happens to know. Come everyone. Come and listen. Happens to know. He happens to know. Well informed.
Talked to John Krasinski of the Associated Press the other day. Yeah. Not that John Krasinski.
And The Office.
He was great on The Office.
Not that one.
You're giving up your sources? Happen to know protects the sources.
No, he said it on air. It wasn't.
So it's a happen to know that you're borrowing from someone who already happened to know? Happened to say?
Well, no, he didn't happen to say. I asked him on air because he did it on my show.
His question.
My question. I got the answer.
Ipso facto.
And unlike some scared journalists out here, I do my question asking out in the air. Wow. In public. Out in the air.
Are we done with Do You Happen
Nope,
to
got
Know?
one more. Amin, I'm not done yet, Dan. The Detroit Pistons are 9-2. They host the 6-4 Chicago Bulls tonight. You know about them Pistons?
I know about the Pistons, and I've been dying to talk about this because everyone was swooning about Cade Cunningham's gutsy performance, 46 points in an overtime win over the Washington
took a lot
Wizards.
of shots.
He missed 31 shots. He didn't take 31 shots. If he took 31 shots, we'd be like, wow, you shot a lot. He missed 31 field goals against one of the top 5 or bottom 5 worst defenses in the entire NBA. How do you miss 31 shots against
Off
a team
night.
that can't
What's wrong
guard
with
its
you?
shadow?
Off night. You know how that goes.
That's that off?
Yeah.
31 shots missed. He sounds like he knows about that.
Amin, I'm going to tell you something.
Yes?
You know about that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know about that Doug Christie press conference, Amin?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Do you know about that Doug Christie press conference?
Oh, my God. This one was last night. Now, they got their heads caved in by the Denver Nuggets. Expected, right? The Kings are not off to a great start. Again, I would have thought expected. This is how Doug Christie literally started his press conference.
Good evening. Some of you guys, I think everybody in here knows me. If you don't, my name is Douglas Dale Christie. I'm head coach of the Sacramento Kings. Okay? Change is hard, y'all. We about to work at it like crazy. We totally get that. And it'll be bumpy. It will. Because change is like that. But buckle up. For the real ones, buckle up. And for all the rest of you, you know who you are. You know how I feel about that. When I see the hate, the haters, the fakers, all you guys, you keep that energy. That's good. You keep that. And you know who you are. Because while you doing that, we're going to be working. And while you doing that, we're going to be growing. And while you do that, eventually, we're going to be coming. The King Show. Sack proud. Know that.
10 games into the season, Dan. 10 games into the season. The context is they got their ass beat again.
Context is they suck.
How many
They
times,
suck. They're
how
the
many
Sacramento
times-
Kings.
How many times did he practice that?
Oh, my God. Mike turned to me and said, is he beefing with Stephen A. Smith also?
Sounds like he's beefing with Stephen A.
But the segment that is Do You Know That ends with Doug Christie saying know that and threatening us, like threatening us.
Yes. But by the way, it's not Doug Christie. It's Douglas Dale Christie.
And
How
at the
dare you?
And when he workshopped it, he's like, pound the table at the end.
Oh, yeah. Sack proud.
I'm not sure I've ever been more shocked at the end of an episode of any kind of television than I was at the end of The Chair Company this week. In terms of being surprised by something, I don't think it's ever happened to me quite this way before. Why is Jessica already laughing? I guess
it was so funny but so shocking. Can we
obscene.
do spoilers on the show? Please.
Well, okay, give it. Well, I
mean, I'd like to watch, but it's fine.
Look, I've already probably ruined it by saying it's as shocked as I've ever been.
You know what, Dan?
I'll let you know, Mike, when to come back. I'd like to leave too, but I don't really have that option.
What are we doing?
You can leave.
This is the way I'll put it, right? To say it's shocking makes people think of a certain, like a cliffhanger or something.
There's a twist.
Like Chris is holding his ears and saying la 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 because he doesn't want to hear, the killer is actually me or whatever. No, it's so off kilter.
You would never expect it.
Nothing. In a million years, if I gave you a million guesses, you couldn't possibly guess how that episode ended, and yet it was so hilarious. I laughed so hard.
Moments before the scene, I was watching in the afternoon yesterday. Moments before my kids came in the room.
Okay, just let me slow I don't want to spoil this, but Jessica, please continue with the
We won't
understanding
spoil.
that we don't want to ruin this any more than I already have for the audience.
We won't spoil it. Let's say it doesn't have a lot to do with the actual plot and what will happen in the next episode. I'm assuming, although you never really know with Tim Robinson, it was a shocking final scene to an episode. And I posted this on my Instagram story. I don't think this is a spoiler.
Did you post it?
No, well, not that. I posted an article about the scene that we're talking about on my Instagram story from Forbes that says, can the chair company do that? Like, can they do that?
That's
Are they
what I
allowed
thought.
to do that? So that was my takeaway was, so I guess they filmed this for the show. This isn't some other film
it's not
that
real.
they inserted
Can
a
Mike
clip
come back?
into.
It's
All right, come
not
on back, Mike. You're good.
It was yes, the show created that scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't aggregated from somewhere else.
I'm assuming that's the case.
Yes,
I
that's
don't think
absolutely
the
the case.
creators have confirmed it, but they haven't really talked about it yet. So
I'm gonna guess by the way the dialogue went that yes. it's the crazy thing is Tim Robinson has a certain brand of humor. If you've watched Detroiters, if you've watched I Think You Should Leave, you get or Friendship. You get a good vibe.
Friendship was my first introduction. I haven't seen the other stuff.
Okay, so like you get a vibe for what his humor is like. And this show, I think, falls within those bounds. This end scene was so far out of bounds from his typical humor lane that I thought it was hilarious, but also I was shocked. It's just so shocking, but also hilarious.
I was waiting for a Muppet to show up.
Adam McKay
And then
is
I was like, whoa.
part of the production
Yeah,
of that,
Hyperobject.
and I just think he's testing all licensing and government boundaries at this point, that he's gone fully off of the deep end and just creatively is making whatever the hell he wants and daring someone to stop him.
He has gone off the deep end.
HBO had to be cool with it.
Right, like how did he explain that to HBO before they handed in that episode?
You can't watch it on an airplane, clearly.
No, the crazy thing, just sorry to cut you off, but like, think about this. This is a type of show that I would say, yeah, absolutely you could watch the show on an airplane because it's mostly Tim Robinson doing faces and using his voice and stuff like that. And so to have that was just like, maybe not on a plane.
Can we also say that there's a scene? Yeah, we're not going to spoil it. There's a scene midway through the show where there becomes like a chase sequence that feels very A24, and it was so stressful but also so low stakes because the show is obviously like a comedy, but I was still like sweating while I was watching it. It just is incredible that he's able to do this. I feel like Safdie brothers found dead in a ditch. Tim Robinson has now surpassed them in terms of creating thriller content in video form.
It's what makes the show brilliant is that it's shot and the score and everything about it is a spy thriller, but it is clearly a comedy.
So dumb.
But if you're not paying attention, if you were like washing the dishes and doing your taxes or whatever and you had it in the background, you think it's just like The Americans or a show like that.
Moving on to other college football things, I want to start here with Zaslow was saying yesterday I haven't heard a whole lot of people who are down on Gus Johnson, but then I heard Mike Valenti, and I've not heard the entirety of this sound, but someone in Detroit who is named Mike Valenti, who is a broadcaster, is very critical here of Gus Johnson, and what I guess he's saying, I would assume that the enthusiasm that Gus shows, sometimes people think it's contrived instead of authentic. That's the greatest objection I've heard to him. What does Mike Valenti have to say?
Can we say that maybe we need to give Gus Johnson a cup of tea or something before he makes these calls?
Can we say that a network executive needs to sit him down and go, here's the deal, you putz. You're not the storyline. The game is. That was such a fake response. He didn't lose his damn voice. He faked it. He's fake. His whole existence is fake. He sits here acting like, oh, U of D. Man, ain't nobody seen you at U of D Jesuit. Shut up, you. Guy's nothing but a charlatan. What a fake-ass call. He ruins everything he touches.
He lost his voice.
No, he didn't. He's a fake.
Well, no, I think he did because every play on that drive was, oh my God!
Because he's
Gus,
fake.
They aren't all that great of a play.
Right, so now, when the moment is the moment, you've cried wolf so many times, none of us can be bothered. He ruined the moment. He ruins everything. What? Somebody else say something.
It's not much for me to say. You said it all.
I don't dislike him. I hate him. He ruins everything.
It's kind of hating from outside the club, right?
I feel like he's doing the same thing. He's the radio host who cried wolf. Why is he getting so upset over this? The next time something even worse happens, I'm not going to believe him because he got so excited about Gus Johnson's call.
Dan, everybody knows this guy. He's like, man, it's probably whacking there anyway, man.
Probably sucks. For
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. No, man, this dude's hating, man. Who doesn't like Gus Johnson?
Zaz.
You don't like Gus Johnson?
But he doesn't like football, though. I mean, let's be honest.
That's true.
No,
you don't.
That game-winning call. Gus Johnson sounds the same as a great catch in the first quarter. Doesn't do it for me. Layup in the first half in the NCAA tournament sounds the same as the buzzer beater at the end of the game, March Madness. Like he does. I don't enjoy him on the call.
You know what Zaz is doing?
I hate him from outside the club.
Exactly.
This is the thing, though. Zaz knows what real enthusiasm sounds like, and it sounds like this.
I like that guy.
We can all agree, right? I don't even know who you were talking about. Do you know who you were talking about there?
I think it was Norman Powell because I really like Norman Powell these
I
days. I like that guy.
I thought you were going to play Tony Romo's sound from last week and say that's what real enthusiasm sounds like.
No, it was Andrew Wiggins. When he's not your main scorer, as your main scorer, you don't like him, but as your fourth scorer.
I like that guy. That's true.
Sure.
When you watch what's happening at LSU, can someone please explain to me the buyout money situation? Because I read some quotes in a CNN article from anonymous boosters saying, hey, that money's make-believe. We don't actually have that money. We've got to go get that money. So explain to me what's happening with the buyout.
Yeah, so Dan Wetzel wrote a story for ESPN a couple nights ago that apparently LSU is taking the stance that they never actually terminated Brian Kelly because now they're trying to fire him for cause to avoid paying the full $54 million buyout. And they informed Brian Kelly of this on Monday. So Brian Kelly's representatives, I believe, presented a court filing saying that that wasn't true and that they have, since his alleged firing, I suppose, they've tried to reach a settlement over the buyout, which is sort of common that, he would settle for a number that would make sense and get the money up front rather than installments. And then that would also negate the offsetting money element if he does get another job, but they weren't able to reach a settlement. So this is basically LSU just trying to get out of paying the $54 million, it seems like, and maybe potentially bring up some things that they claim would make Brian Kelly look bad or maybe damage his reputation in the process. That's sort of like me alleging, like, if they really want to get messy with it or not, because it does seem like, both sides sign the contract. You owe him the money, so you should probably have to pay him the money.
It's a very curious approach, too, when you're trying to hire high-profile coaches that are watching you go to litigation over the last guy that you hired. Wait, if I sign a contract with you, I'm not going to get all my money? This is a 5-star job. And LSU, since firing Brian Kelly, has done every possible thing to make this look like a circus. You would have thought they would have been prepared to meet the moment, but they are actually making this job unappealing.
That can't be. That can't be right.
No, this can't be the approach when you have representatives of the universities saying, like, when you have governors getting involved saying,
I think their brand's taking a big hit.
When Donald Trump may have influence over your head coaching search, according to local officials, like, this whole thing has turned into such a mess. Meanwhile, Auburn, who had that reputation, is like, they got it together. They're clean. They have alignment.
Yeah, the governor's press conference, I think, did damage, but was like, okay, we can look past that because he's just trying to make a point. He's a politician and he wants brownie points for being the one who let go of this expensive head coach. But then his comments about these college football contracts being too expensive, which, like, personally, I agree with. Like, I think 10-year long, $100 million contracts are bad business for colleges, but that's not something that you say when you want to attract a head coach who wants to earn that kind of salary, obviously. So then, like, the firing of the athletic director, which there's another long Ross Dellinger article in Yahoo about the power struggle between them and how they didn't really get along. That does sort of make them look bad too. And then they promoted the interim athletic director and then, like, seemed like they wanted to take that back too. And then they were like, no, he is the athletic director. So, like, there's been a lot of drama involved. And then I think this Brian Kelly contract thing is the most recent piece of drama where, for once, it seems like a lot of people are on Brian Kelly's side and they're like, LSU should probably just pay him the money. Like, we don't like the guy, but you do owe him the money.
Jessica, Mike mentioned Auburn, and that reminded me that Tommy Tuberville said that New York City will be Muslim in 3 to 4 years. And I
Yes,
just want
that's
to know,
true.
have you taken your Shahada yet, and do you need any mosque recommendations?
I would, yeah. We can offline about this if you want. I would love.
I
that,
think it would be better if we did it online because there are a lot of people in New York who are like, well, going to be Muslim. I might as well throw myself into it.
The
We
unlucky
could help
Jay.
a lot of people.
Let's online about it then. Give me your Rex.
Well, there's one on 92nd Street that I think is remarkable. It's great access to the subways. You've got the great food
writing this
carts right
down.
across the street. What was that?
I'm writing this down.
Oh, you're right. Oh, she's typing. Dan likes this bit a lot, I can tell.
But one last thing on the LSU job search. Like, say you're Lane Kiffin, who's had a checkered past. He's been fired on a tarmac before. There have been burning mattresses in his wake. He's watching what's happening with Brian Kelly as he's got basically the entire world available to him, and he's like, "Wait a second, you're not paying your head coach? What? Like that is certainly a drawback when you're evaluating jobs when you're a top line guy like Lane Kiffin right now."
Yeah, but I mean that is what the lawyers are for, and that's what the money is for. I still think money talks. I don't think I know I said that this was all sort of embarrassing. I don't know how embarrassing it really is. Like you said, Mike, there's so many marquee jobs open in this coaching cycle that coaches will be able to choose between different schools. But if you look at a situation like Florida, like is their administration in a much better place than LSU's from like a organizational standpoint? Like that seems to have been a big issue over the last few years for Florida. Honestly, yeah, this is why you pay the lawyers a lot of money. It seems like Brian Kelly thinks he's going to win his case and get the buyout money. So I guess that's why you pay them.
Jess, what stood out to you with the college football playoff last night?
I have a lot of thoughts about this week's rankings versus last week's, where I was kind of like, yawn, there wasn't that much that I think stood out. I think the committee is probably hoping that the ACC and the Big 12 just kind of worked themselves out, because it's very complicated right now that you have Miami as the highest ranked ACC team, but they are almost certainly boxed out of the ACC championship game, which, by the way, I still think there's a path there. I think the ACC is dumb enough that something extremely chaotic could happen at the end of the season.
Mike and I were talking earlier. Mike thinks it's a nuclear option that maybe the ACC champion doesn't even make the playoff.
Yeah, there's a common misnomer. Common
we
misnomer.
talked about that last year too, Mike. I remember we were talking about the
Big 12.
Yeah.
Yes. They take the 5 highest ranked conference champions.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what conference.
Right now, they kind of set the table for USF, and James Madison could be ranked higher than a Duke team that has 4 losses but somehow finds its way. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. I think overall pretty good that Miami's just in that conversation. There's still some curious things over there. They're doing this with the SEC again. Like Vanderbilt's had a very good season, very good quarterback, but why is Vanderbilt ranked where they're at? Like what have they done this season? Like truly, who's their best win? They're 0-2 against ranked teams.
So you're arguing that Vanderbilt should be lower, because I've seen SEC fans argue that Vanderbilt should be higher. So this is very funny.
No,
so
which
Vanderbilt,
is not surprising. But they haven't done anything. Utah and Vanderbilt's position in particular are very confusing to me.
Let's discuss this, because this is one of the interesting things as someone who is a fan of a football team that's not in a conference. I have like 0 conference allegiance. I couldn't care less how many SEC teams or Big Ten teams or ACC teams get in. It just doesn't matter to me. I don't have like conference brain, but I see fans of other schools who are in conferences cheer for the conference to try to prop up their school, and I understand why and how all of that works, obviously. But Vanderbilt is, depending on where you stand on this one, is an interesting case, because they have 2 losses, quote unquote good losses, to Alabama and Texas. And the Texas game in particular was pretty close. Both games were close, but the Texas game in particular was very close. But if you look at their wins, South Carolina, which was like their big win at the beginning of the season, they've had a really bad season. Missouri's quarterback got hurt during the Vanderbilt game. LSU, of course, fired their head coach. We just talked about Auburn also fired their head coach. So they don't have like a marquee win in the conference, even though when the season started, it was like, wow, can Vanderbilt get to 6-6? Can they make a bowl game? Wow, can they make the SEC championship game? But like they've beaten a bunch of teams in the SEC that I think we can all agree aren't great teams. I mean, if you fired your head coach, I think you have to admit it's not not a great football team. But I've seen arguments that, like, why is Vanderbilt behind Notre Dame? Notre Dame has 2 losses as well. And I mean, I think the obvious thing is that Notre Dame beat USC, and that USC win is being propped up as, Notre Dame's best win so far. So, yeah, Mike, I think that that's funny that you could take a team like Vanderbilt and look at either side of the argument. Utah, briefly, I do want to also mention, because they have 2 losses. They lost to BYU earlier this season, and they lost to Texas Tech. But they did beat Cincinnati and Arizona Sims. Arizona
that's
State,
right.
But Sims was playing.
They were Arizona Sims at the point. They beat Arizona State with their backup quarterback. Their one good win is Cincinnati right now. I don't understand how the argument for Utah.
You have to be particularly heartbroken, because the stat from Gabby Urrutia was that Urrutia, disculpa. The stat from the University of Miami is that they've lost 4 games in the last 2 years by a combined 18 points, the most at SMU in overtime, and you're not going to make the playoffs either year. In a year that has 2 losses all over the place.
For me, again, as always, for Miami, the toughest hurdle for them to clear is to go through the month of December without losing again. I think that they have a really good argument. When you look at the top 35 teams are really good. When you look at top 25 wins, it will be patently absurd if Notre Dame finishes ahead of Miami in the rankings, given that they went head-to-head. But we don't need to have that conversation, because Miami has to beat 3 teams.
Let me just – I agree. Like, I do think that, like, a lot of times we argue in the beginning of November, and then by the end of the season, like, Alabama loses to Oklahoma, and a lot of it works itself out. So I do think a lot of it is – the amount of vitriol that the committee gets for, like, the first 2 weeks of rankings is like, okay, guys, like, they've got to put some teams somewhere. Let's all take a deep breath. But the Louisville thing is interesting, Mike, because I know, like, you probably don't want to talk about this, but Louisville has overtime losses to Virginia and Cal. We know Virginia's at the top of the ACC conference, and Cal is not. Cal is, I think, a 4-loss team right now. They have a freshman quarterback, but they're still, I guess, feisty. They're okay. They lost to San Diego State earlier this year, who's one of the better teams in the Mountain West. They lost to Duke and Virginia, who are obviously very good, and they also lost to Virginia Tech, who also fired their head coach. So Louisville's losses, like, one is totally, I think, quote-unquote good loss. One is much worse loss, but they have a head-to-head win over Miami, and they're still ranked behind Miami. So I guess, like, the circular logic here is, like, if you think that Louisville, or if you think Miami should be ahead of Notre Dame, that would mean Notre Dame's probably, like, a 12 to 15th ranked team. Miami's probably a top 10 team, but Louisville has a top 10 win over Miami. Then shouldn't Louisville also, by that logic, be ahead of Miami?
Yeah, well, I would say that if all things are in a vacuum, Louisville should probably be ranked the highest there. But the committee has shown us in previous years, when it was a smaller tournament, that they also take injuries into account. Isaac Brown is a huge injury for Louisville. He dominated Miami. He's a home run threat. So I don't think Louisville's actually going to go through the rest of the season clean because of that injury.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's where it's like, okay, it will probably work itself out, but we can have the argument before conference championship weekend if there is still a fine line between 10-2 teams in the same conference that haven't played each other, which is why giant conferences are stupid, and we shouldn't have done that. And at the very bare minimum, should have kept the divisions, because then we'd at least have more teams playing against each other, like, in similar opponents in the same pod.
But at least there's not a Big Ten private capital, deal that's moving forward without Michigan and USC or anything. We're out of time. The weekly Notre Dame podcast is called Echoes. It's with Mike Golick Jr. Zaslow, you know about the special guest this week? You know about Jessica's got a special guest today.
I'll go learn.
Got a special guest this week. What are you giving us there, Jessica?
What do you know about the former transportation secretary and mayor of South Bend?
I don't know that fool.
Mayor Pete?
Okay.
You don't know Pete Buttigiig?
Oh, he did that?
Okay, very good.
I don't know his resume. Whatever, man. Do you know my resume?
The Echoes with Mike Golick Jr. With Jessica and Mike. What are you doing? What's the matter with you? I thought you'd know about that.
I don't.
All right, Jessica, thank you.
I didn't, to be fair. Bye.
Channing Frye next. He's an NBA champion. He's a 14-year veteran of the league, an analyst for NBA TV. You can catch Handles as the co-host of NBA.com. Handles is the show and also the podcast, The Road Trippin' Show. Channing Frye is with us, and there's a number of basketball issues to talk about. But what do you find more interesting? If I put in front of you all of the following, I say the gambling scandal, I say the Pablo Kawhi stuff, or I say Nico and Luka. When I say headlines in the NBA, which is the most interesting to you right now, Channing?
I think it's obviously the Nico and Luka thing. I think because I don't know all the details and just hearing things from guys like Shams, who definitely got the scoop more than most people. It's just interesting for a player to be moved of his caliber, and no one else is getting the blame for that. I think that's a team decision. And so for me, I was always like, there's no way you can move a guy like that. And then all of a sudden now Nico's taking the blame for it. I think if he brought up that idea, I think there are a lot of GMs that bring up ideas. It's a matter of who's okaying it. So for me, I'm just interested to see how that plays out. But, hey, it's when you look at the Dallas Mavericks, I don't think on paper they are that bad. They're just injury prone. But expectations at the beginning of the year were huge, and they just can't kick that thing in the ocean right now. So something had to happen.
Channing, how would you feel if you played for the Mavericks and they traded Luka Doncic? You had just gone to the finals a few months earlier.
Man, listen, I probably would think, what did they know that I didn't know, or are we getting ready to blow this up? Honestly, I just think, when you have older vets, right? Remember, like when Boston traded KG to the Nets, right? You would go, okay, I understand. It's time to move on. We've won. They're getting a little bit older. What is he, 25, 26? You're
25
trading him. You're right. I just, for me, you'd have to have a conversation, if possible, of like, what was your thinking behind this? Like, we've got to the pinnacle. It's hard enough with homegrown guys to get there and to do what he was doing. I just don't know those details. So the decision was made, and now you look at them, and damn, the Lakers are looking disgustingly nice this year. They're winning tough games. They're playing a different style of basketball than they have in the last few years. So it's going to be interesting.
How often in your career over 14 years have you thought my management team is totally incompetent?
Zero. Who has a management team? I'm Channing Frye. Listen, I thought
no. Your
meant
teams. Yes, your team's management is whatever it is people thought of Nico seems to have been confirmed 8 months later, where the players are like, "What are we doing?"
Right. I mean, but the thing is he can't make shots for them, right? I mean, listen, you got the number one pick. Right. And he's playing out of position. It's hard enough to go to the league. If you're a 6'3" guard and you've been a 6'3" guard since you were in 7th grade and now you're in the league, you're playing your position. This guy was a forward and now you're playing him at point guard. You're going to take lumps early. Clay's getting off to a slow start. PJ, I think they're 29 out of 30 offensively. And then you have AD coming in a little bit, not as in shape as you would like. Kyrie's hurt. So, to me, I would have given him a little bit more time. I would have given him at least to the break. That's just me. But, they wanted to make change. But you could have anybody there. You could have freaking, Jesus there as GM, and he can't make shots for him. Like, that's just a matter of things. They make shots.
He would. I think Jesus would be a great
Jesus would make the shots.
No, he's going to let you figure it out yourself, brother. He's going to be like,
that is also true.
Get in the gym.
Would you trade Anthony Davis now and just start over, build around Cooper Flag?
Ooh, that's a great question. Yes, 100%. 100%. I really obviously I like Jason Kidd as a coach. I think he's really good with development of like those kind of tweener wing, bigger kind of guard guys. But yeah, I just think right now, this is the era of homegrown, right? You got your draft pick. You got your number one pick. He looks like a great piece to start with. You have good vets. I'd move off of some of these guys, keep Derek Lively. Move off some of these older guys and start over. Like, you look at some of the best teams in the league other than the Lakers, they are homegrown teams, and they just add those pieces when it's time, like a la Houston. But they got their draft pick. They have the right kind of guys. Now it's time to really develop that culture in Dallas again. Reinvent yourself.
Well, but speaking of moving off of old guys, the oldest one in the league plays or hasn't played this season for the Lakers. Zaslow has some opinions on LeBron.
I've never heard of sciatica. I've never heard of that, Channing.
Well, you never played golf before, so I know that. Listen, every time I play golf, my back got sciatica all day long.
That injury at that age with the way the Lakers are playing, how awkward is the return of LeBron James?
I don't think it's going to be that awkward. I think, that's the hot topic. I know we were just on road tripping. We had brought it up yesterday, and a lot of people didn't agree with what Kendrick said or what I'm saying is I think at LeBron at this age, basically he said, hey, LeBron needs to come in and allow Luka and AR to be the 1-2 punch, and he fits in where he fits in. And I think when he said that, I think people thought he's just going to be the guy to run to the corner. That's not what we're saying. I'm saying Luka is great at what he's doing. Austin Reeves is having a career year, right? He's progressing as you would want. LeBron has the ability to play the 4 position, to play the 3, to play the point. And so we're saying just fill in those gaps at a high level of where those other guys don't. Be complementary to them because that's the way they've been winning so far. We're not saying anything about the playoffs, right?
Channing,
that's a different thing.
Channing, you've played with this human being. Like, I understand he's a smart
10 years ago. That was 10 years ago.
He is as smart as anyone who's played the game. If Carmelo's going to object to coming off the Lakers bench, LeBron's going to object to, what do you mean my usage rate is let's grow Austin Reeves?
Listen, I'm telling you right now, and LeBron's my guy. He's as smart as he is. He's seeing the game. He's seeing the pace that the Lakers are playing. He's seeing the culture that this is not LeBron's team. This is Luka's team. I don't know there's nothing.
Channing, he's LeBron James. Do I need to explain to this?
Listen,
I need to explain this to you publicly?
He's LeBron James. I understand he's LeBron James. And this is what I'm saying. When you have a guy like LeBron James, you could ask him, and JJ, obviously they have a great relationship. They could go to film and say, okay, this is where we need you tonight. This is where we need you tonight. And he can be elite at that. But no matter who that is, 41 is 41 or 40, or however old he is. To me, I'm just like, he could be great at whatever position they need. They don't need him to score 25, 30 points a game. That's just a fact.
That's what he's
been. If you don't want to hear that, you don't want to hear that.
But it's what he's been doing for 23 years. You're asking him to be a plumber.
A plumber? No.
You're asking him to be the Lakers' third option.
Okay, so Andre Iguodala was the Golden State Warriors' third option. And
he's LeBron James! He's LeBron James!
I'm saying, listen, just because you yelled does not make it right. Okay? Look, LeBron can fit in anywhere to make this team even that much better. We're not saying, hey, we don't need 2016 LeBron. We don't need 2018 LeBron. Also, it's the regular season. Now, during the playoffs, that's different. Now we may need you to go ahead and sprint, old guy. Okay, now we may need 100% of whatever you got. But during the regular season, AR and Luka, this is their time to really develop and get better. Because if Austin Reeves does not have this confidence going into the playoffs, they don't have a chance anyways after what we saw last year. So he's made these progressions. He's learning. He's playing a better style of basketball. Luka came in shape. They're being serious. And LeBron trusts him. If you ever watch those playoff series, LeBron trusts AR. He obviously trusts Luka. So when he comes in there, he doesn't need to do everything. And I don't remember the last time he's had 2 guys, maybe I do, that he could legit trust like that with the basketball. Right? Maybe I do.
Channing, what did you make of Draymond Green questioning some players' agenda on the Warriors? And do you think he was talking about Steph?
No, I don't think he's talking about Steph, man. Listen, don't bite the hand that feeds you. All right. And then I think secondly, Draymond is a no frills kind of guy. I think when you look at the Golden State Warriors with Jimmy, they feel like they have to feel like they have a chance if they could get it together. I don't know, but I would assume the only guy that's ever been talked about that does not fit within that realm of what the Golden State Warriors do is Kuminga. I am just assuming, right? So what he's saying is, I've told it to you in the locker room, probably. Now I'm going to say it publicly so that now there's more attention on this. They want to win. They don't care about anyone individually. They care about the Golden State Warriors winning. And if you win, everyone gets taken care of. How many more years do you think Steph has, or Jimmy, or even Draymond? And they need Kuminga to be at his best for them to win games. And if he's not buying in, then, hey, I wouldn't personally do it, but that's Draymond, and you got to respect it. He does not pull his punches for anybody, including his teammates.
Give me the guy you played against, if there was any in your career or your path anywhere, where you felt, however it is, that Wemby must make people feel, where you're a giant, you've always been a giant, and you're like, what is this? What am I supposed to do with
Man, I'm
what
going to tell
this
you
is
two
physically?
names, and everyone's going to tell you this. It's Shaq and Yao. Like, imagine me trying to stop an F-150 in a diesel truck. Like, I was 230 at that time, and this dude was 300, and I was trying my hardest to stop him move anywhere, and he just literally just picked me up like I pick up this phone and moved me out the way. I couldn't imagine him in his prime. It was just like, again, he's breaking machines. He's ruining the equipment. And so what does Lil O Channing have to do? And Yao was so big. One time he shot it, and I promise you his elbow hit me in my nose. And I was like, wait, what the? I'm 7 foot, and you're hitting me on the way up. I was like, Coach, why am I guarding this dude? And that's why I started shooting threes. I saw Shaq and Yao. I said, nah, this ain't me. This ain't me, brother.
Channing, you, Richard Jefferson, Kevin Love, rank them as teammates. Not as players, but as teammates.
Oh, I'm the best teammate. That's by far. Richard's the last because he be talking a lot, and then Kevin's second. But yeah. Kevin got a great charcuterie board, throws a great dinner. He's a great teammate. Richard, I don't know what he brings to the table.
That's a good thing to say about a friend. He puts together a great charcuterie board.
Great artisanal honey. Oh my goodness, this boy does not skimp on the artisanal board.
Who puts the worst dinner together?
Ooh. Oh man, that's a good question. Probably Richard, because he ducks out before the bill.
That is brutal to just hit someone on the way out with that slice.
Yeah, Richard's like, I gotta go take a call. And the next thing you know, he's like, all right, sorry guys, I'm going to bed.
Seen it in New York of all places.
Oh yeah, he will slide out on you.
What did you make of Cade Cunningham missing 31 shots the other night?
Hey yo, oh my goodness. Listen, I took 28 shots one time because we only had 7 people playing basketball. I thought my arm was going to fall off, right? I cannot imagine, right? And I'm a shooter, so I just need to let me shoot 1 a quarter, okay? I understand if you're hot. 45 shots is beyond me. Now, congrats, they got the win. But, man, you're not having me do cardio like old Tony Snell, just running up and down the court. I mean,
Tony Snell, man.
Whoa.
Tony Snell at home.
Tony Snell.
Channing's on LeBatard Show. This should be good.
You're doing cardio. I'll be hot. But Detroit is a grimy team, and Cade felt, they were playing the Wizards. No offense to the Wizards, but offense to the Wizards.
Yeah.
They're playing the Wizards, and he wanted to get that 50 ball. So, he had to try to do whatever he had to do. But, hey, good for him. I'm not even mad at it.
Has the 40-point game been devalued?
Yes, I would say yes. I think people think it's a lot easier than what it is, but there are so many great offensive players that could do it when they get hot. It's unbelievable. The offense is so much further than the defense right now in basketball. It's kind of wild.
Has the 50-point game been devalued?
No, getting 50 is still kind of crazy. I just think when a guy like, Austin Reeves gets 50, we're like, what? Austin Reeves gets 50. And then you see how good he is. You're like, oh, okay, like Austin Reeves got 50. But, hey, even my back in the day, Corey Brewer got 55 one time, so did Andre Miller.
That's why LeBron's taking it back.
Dan, he's been going to that example for over a decade. He keeps going. Channing, for some reason, the Corey Brewer 50-point game.
It was the craziest 50 ever. He was just driving, man. Dude, I love Corey Brewer as a teammate. Good dude. That dude, I was like, how? How?
Oh, we're doing
Malachi Flynn would like a word.
Willie Burton.
Oh, boy.
He's LeBron James. He's not going to just come back and stand in a corner.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying stand in a corner. But I'm saying you're telling me You can't ask Austin Reeves to go play a wing or go play a forward and screen and roll. You can't ask him to do that. You can ask LeBron to do that, and he could do that at an elite level and your team win. This is what I'm saying.
Channing, what's up with some merch, man? Some free wine, something, man. Let me get the quarter zip, something.
Dog,
man.
text me. I mean,
don't do it. Don't. You almost did it.
it.
You almost did it. You can't do that one anymore, man. That's been retired forever.
He's the founder of Chosen Family Wines, I should say.
Yeah,
Yes.
just text me. Text me. I got you. I got you.
I had a nickname that Channing gave me back in the day. That at the time was
used to wear
funny.
the coolest glasses.
No,
Yeah.
it was. It was
boy.
one time. One time, I'm on a road trip. I said, I'm gonna put on these sunglasses. Channing was like, "Oh, look at a mean Diddy here," and then for the rest, for the rest of time, the entire team was just like, "I mean Diddy," because I wore sunglasses once on the road trip.
You wore sunglasses inside.
It was a plane. It's bright inside the plane.
Oh, we were laughing so hard. We were like, look at this cool guy. Look at this cool guy.
Dan, you know about that Diddy? All right, so apparently, look, Taco Bell's awesome. Everyone loves Taco Bell.
Best.
Taco Bell was a huge go-to, like when I was in college. Give me that gordita, you know what I'm talking about. Jeremy, you tried something brand new at Taco Bell?
The Mountain Dew Baja Blast Pie.
What color
Unless
is
they're a sponsor, which
It's
a Baja
neon.
Blast color?
Yeah, it's the Baja Blast color. It's like a neon turquoise color, potentially. I would say the closest thing that it tastes like is key lime pie. But it doesn't taste like key lime pie. It tastes like Baja Blast. It tastes like if key lime pie was candy. And I don't know how they did that
Is
in
it
an
fizzy?
actual pie. It's not fizzy. It's just a bunch of gloop is essentially what it is. It's not really like a normal pie. It's
Often
$20.
That's often what pie is.
Nah,
I'm not a
but
big
not.
pie guy.
It's a different type of
pecan
gloop.
pie.
It's a different type of. The texture is. It all feels more artificial than anything I've ever tasted in my life, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
This is a white elephant party, or what was it?
No, it was just a Friendsgiving,
White
and they
people
decided, a super white people party. It was a Friendsgiving, and there was just a decision made by the hosts to go, wow, I can't believe that exists. I'm going to go. There were a bunch of other really delicious desserts. There was a pumpkin cheesecake. It was great.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Wait a second. It's what, November 12th today? You've already done Friendsgiving?
Yeah, me too. I did
people have
mine.
busy schedules. You know
I
what
did
I mean?
mine this past
Really?
weekend too.
Dog, I
It
saw
was early.
Someone did Friendsgiving October.
Guys, that's
No,
all.
October
Oh, so you guys want to do it like back to back?
That's
like,
crazy.
You spread it out.
It was
a little
actually
bit.
closer
perfect.
to Thanksgiving,
No, it was
though.
perfect because now I got to have Thanksgiving food, and I'm not going to be sick of that Thanksgiving food when I get to actual Thanksgiving. So I got to take the leftovers, have some of those, gives me a
Who
gap
gets sick
before
of
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving
No,
food?
but if you
Thank
eat too
you.
much of it,
Thank you.
I want to
Attaboy.
enjoy.
No such thing.
I
No
love
such
Thanksgiving
thing.
food. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
I'll have it 7 nights a week.
Every
No,
night.
you
Yo,
guys are just saying that.
Zaz, you know about that heat turkey dinner?
Oh, that's the
Oh, it's
best
the
when
best.
they do that. It's the best.
Oh, that media dining, like they're hit or miss over there. But when it's turkey night, woo!
Yup.
It was a real Baja Blast to eat it, though.
All
right, I'm out.
Revelation, I do not like key lime pie.
Really?
Yeah, it's not for me.
I think pie in general is the worst of the desserts.
Ooh,
Like if you
pumpkin
give me the
pie's so
cake,
good, though.
ice cream, brownie, cookie, like I'm gonna go to pie last.
I'm an ice cream cake guy. I don't like regular cake. I don't eat regular cake. I literally don't eat regular cake. But ice cream cake with the little bullshits in them.
The crunchies?
Yeah.
I think ice cream cake's a little overrated.
A little
You
bullshit.
telling me that you don't like cake?
No, I don't.
This
I don't
is
eat
like
cake.
you saying you're not a soda drinker.
I don't eat cake and I don't drink soda.
You got a cake eater's physique.
Well, maybe it's ice cream cake.
You go diet soda?
No, I don't drink soda. Yeah,
liar.
Man, you're not gonna catch it. I dare you to find me drinking soda.
How do you explain your body then?
I'm just living my life, man. Just living my life.
Not a Taco Bell.
No, I don't. No.
What do you
not,
eat?
Not a long time. Like I don't eat a lot of fast
Thai
food.
food.
I love Thai food. I don't know if you guys know that. I love Thai food. I love Italian food. I love Sicilian pizza. Oh my God, Sicilian pizza is so good. I don't know if you know that either.
And what about at your age right now? If you had to do fast food for dinner, what drive-thru you going?
I like
to?
Wendy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Wendy's. Wendy's fries are my favorite. Give me the number 5 spicy chicken.
Oh,
all
yeah.
right.
Love that spicy
Obviously, love that. Wendy's is great. That would be my go-to fast food is Wendy's.
So you like Wendy's fries over the goated
I think
McDonald's
Wendy's fries are the best. Yep.
Out of your
man,
mind.
that's
No,
crazy.
man.
You
That's
guys,
crazy.
you ever done this, Tony? Like where you're like, I'm gonna get my fast food from one place, but no fries. Let me stop by McDonald's.
I'm
get
ashamed.
the
I've
fries from
done
there.
it once or twice.
Wow, that is such a crisp.
Really?
I've never even done that.
That's
Never
a
done that,
college
Chris?
move.
Now,
It's a college move. Yeah.
Very college move.
have I ordered Uber Eats from multiple places? Maybe.
No, you
That
got to
was
go and
fun.
earn it. You got to go and drive to those places to make it feel like you're doing something.
Hold
Instead
on
of,
a second.
Let me Uber Eats 19
Want to
different
earn,
things.
want to learn.
Hold on a
Exactly
second. When you do
What's
the
up?
multiple Uber Eats order, is the same driver picking up from two different places?
Now, that has happened. That has happened to me before, and that is embarrassing. I don't often feel shame. That one, I'm like, honey, you got to go get this one.
Hold on. I actually would think that's pretty cool if it's the same driver. Now, what would be embarrassing is if it's two drivers and they get there at the same time and they're like,
That's embarrassing.
This is awkward,
You're like,
guys.
this is for Chris? And you're like, yeah. You're like, oh.
I've also had that dilemma before where my wife orders something and I'm like, all right, I'll have a side from there, but I don't really want that, so I'm gonna. So we have two cars and I have
And they're doing the Spider-Man meme when they get out.
and I'm
right?
tracking both of them. I'm like, man, we need this one to hit a red light or else they're gonna get here at the same time.
You ever order the liquor via Uber Eats?
No.
Of course.
I love that. I love that.
Love it.
I feel a little bit ashamed where my wife's like, what did you order? I'm like, yeah, I just got this bottle of Jack. I don't know. It makes me feel a little bit like an alcoholic.
And then all of a sudden the Uber Eats driver is now like checking my ID.
Yeah, you gotta give it ID.
It's all about volume. You can't order just a bottle. You got to go a bottle and then a 6-pack of this and like some
mixer.
chasers. Yep. So that's a whole order.
That's my bust.
Dutches.
That's my bust.
You sucker.